I have on the board, definitely come up. I want to see you come up. And I'm going to go ahead and start on both my YouTube channels. All right, cool. We are live on YouTube, and I'm about to start my Twitch. Hey, Nuka, how's it going? How's it going? It's your first time seeing me? It's the first time seeing me? Hey, I appreciate all the support, man. Like, first time seeing me, you already hit the follow button. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. All right, y'all, we got 51 people in here. Keep liking it up so we can go ahead and get some more people to come on in. All right, dot person, let's go ahead and bring you up. Like I said, the number one rule of here is do not yap in the comments. That's my number one rule here. Do not yap in the comments. If you disagree with something, come up. All right. If you disagree with something, come up. Don't just yap to the comments. All right, got my Twitch started up. Hey, I love y'all too. Doge payments? You really think those Doge payments are gonna? Man, Doge is it's pretty much a waste of time. They're not doing anything. Yeah, Zakam, I am real. Yes, I am real. Like I said, y'all, do not yap to the comments. If you disagree with something I have on the board, come on up and actually have a discussion with me. I'm actually one of those genuine people that actually do have discussions. Oh, okay, you one of those guys. American base is one of those guys. All right, so I know that I can't take you seriously. Since you're one of those guys, I know I can't take you seriously. All right, David, let me know what's not realistic. Don't just yap to the comments, y'all. Let me know what's not realistic. Let me know what I got wrong. Let me know what you disagree with. Shout out to the YouTube. My YouTube comments is popping up right now. Shout out to my YouTube. But yeah, like I said, y'all, if something is not realistic or you think I got something wrong or like you just disagree with something, come on up and actually have a discussion. We should have more genuine and honest and open discussions. And usually y'all just yap to the comments, and I don't know why. I always tell y'all, do not yap to the comments. I'm going to invite you up. The Irish were never slaves. Let me go ahead and invite you as well. Like I said, if you talk like you're trying to disagree with me, then I'm going to invite you up. And if you just keep yapping, I'll just go ahead and mute you. All right, Mike, come on up as well. Like I said, I'm going to invite all y'all up. The Irish were never slaves in America. We're talking about the United States. They were never slaves in America. Now, they were slaves to the British, and they got enslaved in I think, the Caribbean. That's why Jamaicans have a similar accent to the. That's why Irish and Jamaicans have a similar accent. But they were slaves in the West Indies, sure. So the Irish should get reparations from the British if they wanted. But in America, they were never slaves. Hey, Kimmy, I invited you up. I already invited you up, Kim. Hey, Kimmy, you can come on up if you want. I can't invite you for some reason. But Kimmy, if you want to come up, come on up. You calling me a coward in the comments, and you won't actually hit the guest request button to actually come up and discuss it. Yeah, Haas, you're not. Haas, I already said, come on up, Haas. I already invited you. Hey, Kevin, I invited you as well. Well, I can't invite you, Kevin, for some reason. Lots of yapping, lots of crashing out in the comments. Lots of yapping in the comments.
Yo,
Kimmy, what it is?
Hey, it's K20, my dude.
All right,
When you gonna
K20,
move
how's
your
it going?
bitch ass
All
out if
right,
you hate
so
it so much here?
how old are
Yeah, I
you,
figured you
and
would
do
be
you
there,
disagree
bro. I
with something
figured
on
you
the
sit here
board?
and talk over me like a
Are
fucking
you
dumbass
are you
coward.
over are you
That's
over
what I
18, and do
fucking
you
thought. Don't
disagree with
ask me
something on the
fucking
board?
questions, dog. Just
Are
answer
you
me
over
one
18,
question.
and do you disagree with something on the board? What
Yeah,
what
I'm over
argument do you
fucking
have, my friend?
18, you
What
dumbass.
argue do you have, my friend? What argument do you have?
Why are you fucking crying, bro? Why don't you just leave? If you
Leave what?
hate it here so much, why don't you
Leave
just
what?
go try it out somewhere else? Like,
Go try what out? What are you talking about?
living somewhere else.
Go live somewhere else?
Yeah, bro. If you
No, I
hate
don't want to.
America so fucking much, why you still here?
Who said
Why
I
you
hate
still
America?
choosing to
Who
pay
said I hate
taxes
America? Who
and
said I
still
hate America?
crying?
Who said I
You
hate America?
did. You
No, I didn't.
did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you
No, I
did.
didn't. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you fucking did.
No, I
America was
didn't.
never
No, I didn't.
great. You
No, I
fucking
didn't.
so ignorant,
Yeah,
bro.
America was never great.
It's great right now. You're still
No, it's not.
here.
No,
It's
it's not.
great right fucking now.
No, it's not.
You're choosing to live here.
Yeah, I am. So
Must be greater than everywhere else.
now I don't choose to live here because my family's here,
Yeah,
my
dude, you're
job is
just a
here, so I have to
yapper,
live here,
bro. Honestly, you're
and
just here
my
for attention.
my
Get
wife
your
is here,
dumb
so
ass
I wouldn't.
offline, bro. For
Why would I
real.
leave? Why would I leave here? Because I make money here, so why would I leave? Yeah, exactly what I thought. All right, so who's the next person to come on up? All right, Cobra, how's it going? All right, let's go ahead and bring them up. Cobra, how's it going?
Oh, oh yeah, I'm good, man. Uh,
Are you
the
over
only
18,
thing,
and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
yeah, I'm over 18. I just disagree with one thing is
Sure.
that the reparations part is it's like how is the reparations supposed to be? Like, what is it supposed to be? Cash?
Well, reparations would be in several forms. It could be cash. That could be one way. Like for example, the Japanese. What the hell happened to the other guy? Oh, that's you're the same person. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cobra. The reparations could be like multiple ways. For example, the Japanese got just cash reparations, right? But that was for like basically a financial reason. For you feel me? So when it comes to black people, there will be more than financial reasons because they were black Americans are also politically and socially disadvantaged. So there would need to be like you need to address those systems as well. Like for example, the education system that's built mostly off of like taxes, but we know why like schools in black areas have are limited in what they can do or have less funding because it's funded through the taxes in the area, and taxes in black area are lesser because they don't own those homes because of redlining. That's the legacy of redlining. You see what I'm saying? So if we go ahead and address those type of things, like the legacy of redlining, to actually fund schools in a more proper way, like they do in other countries, instead of just using the local taxes, then we could be able to address like the school gap, the education gap between white and black families. Not to mention the wealth gap when it comes to home ownership. Does it all make sense?
Um. Uh, so you wouldn't be getting the money directly. You're just gonna get money in programs. That's the reparation to just get
Yeah,
money in programs.
money directly can be on top of that as well. Give me a second because there are people being racist in the comments. Money directly can be there as well. Give me one second. Hey, everyone who's actually commenting on either my YouTube or my Twitch, you have to come over to TikTok because I won't be able to see you. All right, so yeah, money directly is something that can happen. There are a lot of people who support money directly. I'm good with that as well. Like, I don't think that's a problem because there is enough money to go ahead and pay African Americans for their lost labor, for the tax differentials that they were cost. Also, you know, things like the war on drugs and everything like that that also cost like economic disparities in the black community there. So the money's there, that can happen. But also the programs that I was talking about, like reforming the school system, reforming the police system, reforming the criminal justice system, all that needs to be reformed. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, what I've always told people is that reparations wouldn't only advantage African Americans; they would advantage everybody else too, because we service. The United States uses a lot of its budget, at least like 20%, just servicing poverty. You know what I mean? And the people who are mostly in poverty, besides Native Americans, are African Americans. You know what I mean? So if we could actually fix that poverty problem, the American budget system would actually see like a reduction in its debt because of its service and poverty. And not only that, if we reach from the criminal justice system, poor whites would actually be an advantage as well because the criminal justice system is also discriminatory towards poor whites. Make sense?
A little bit, because let's say you give reparations to black people, but then they go out and buy Mercedes Benz and BMWs. Wouldn't that defeat the purpose? Because then that means you just giving back the money to the white man. Wouldn't that mean, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I hear that because that's something that people always say. The problem with that argument is that when you actually study and look at how black people spend their money, they don't spend it on things like things that are a waste of time. They don't spend it on luxuries. Black people mostly spend their money on things like necessities. They're not always just out there wasting it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. If you this, I'm sure there's actually been research into the the spending habits of black people. Yeah,
yeah,
we're one of the biggest consumers. I'm not gonna lie to you about
yeah.
that. We're one of the biggest consumers, but the majority of our money is not spent on luxuries. It's spent on necessities.
Okay. All right. Thank you, man. That's all.
Not a problem. Appreciate you, Randy. How's it going?
What's going on?
Am I right? Are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yeah, I'm over 18. I wouldn't say I disagree. I see you have on the first two. I just want to know what's your stance on them. Like,
Like the first two, the America was never great.
yeah,
America was never great because of how we treated its people. Essentially, we had a group of people who were second-class citizens. We know who that was. But even outside that group of people, anyone who wasn't a white straight male was treated like dog shit. So sure, like America was great for if you were a white straight male, but if you weren't that, you were just treated like dog shit. And even white women, the white women were they had like benefits from white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Because white supremacy was just built around to protect them. You see what I'm saying? So they had those benefits. But if you weren't a straight white person, you were basically a second class citizen in this country, and that's not greatness.
okay. So that term America make America. The reason why you're saying America wasn't great is because of what? Because of
Its history and the way that
just the
it treated its
history.
citizens. Like if you don't treat one of the American ideals is freedom, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, etc.
Right.
That wasn't afforded to everyone. If you were a certain race, it wasn't afforded to you. If you were a certain gender, sexual orientation, etc., it wasn't afforded to you. So if that's the case, you cannot be great if you don't live up to your ideal.
Okay, I see. Okay, being woke is good. Why would you say being woke is good?
You're a black man, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you aware of racial and social injustice? Like, are you aware of how it happens in our society?
Yeah.
That's what wokeness is. Would you say that is a bad thing?
So being aware of the injustices that's going on in America, you're saying is a
It's
good
good.
thing. Okay. But on a broader scale, I believe that you know, as far as like the Democratic Party when they pushing this whole woke thing, like I be seeing some white people, they go crazy with the woke, not just white people but the liberal people, they go crazy with the woke, and I feel like it's very unreasonable. What's that background noise?
You're how old are you, Randy? Let me ask you.
35.
You're 35.
Yeah.
So you was born in 87.
No, 1990.
You were born when?
1990.
1990 or
Yeah.
1990. Oh, your background is kind of loud, Randy. That's
My
why I
background.
can't hear you. All right, yeah. All right, so you're 20. If you're, I'm 37.
I'm
So
34.
you're 34.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm 35 this year though, for sure.
yeah. So you grew up the same era that I did. So you know what woke is, bro. All
Yeah, but
right, so you know that
Same.
just what the Democrats like. Wokeness is not whatever the Democrats are doing or whatever liberal white women with blue hair are doing. That's not what wokeness is about. That's what Republicans and conservatives said it is, but we know that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So why would
Okay.
we let them?
Okay, I'm just seeing your life. So I was just trying to figure out what's going on. What's your stance on these things? You know, I mean, basically, what you explained was pretty sensible. So I don't really have a real bone to pick. But
I'll let you have a bone to pick. You know what? I'm 50, and I always took people for who they are and what they are, and that's it.
Give me a second, JPC.
but the bone,
Randy, did you
when I
have
say a
anything
bone
else?
to pick, I just mean just to try to understand how a person, a person's point of view of how they view life and America really.
Yeah, sure, not a problem. But did you have anything else, or
No, that's it. That's it.
that's it?
That's
All
it.
right, cool.
All right, cool.
Appreciate you. All right, JPC, how's it going? You said that you are 50, and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Uh, never great. Yeah, America was never great. Being woke, I don't know what woke is. Uh, reparation for Black Americans. I think that's past. Reparation for Black Americans. I think that's past. Not being a dick. Why should we? Well, that's a tough subject. All right, I'm sorry. Why should I believe in God? I believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus.
Okay, sure. Let's start with the first one. Did you hear the reasons why I said I think America was never great?
No, I did not. I'd love to hear them.
All right. The reason why I think America was never great is because number one, it never lived up to its ideal, and number two, because of its history. Number one, like the ideal of America, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, that was never afforded to everybody. You know what I mean? Even now, arguably, you can say it's not afforded to everyone. Like if you're an ex-con, if you're a Native American, a lot of times even if you're black or if you're part of the Rainbow Crew, that's not afforded to you. So if you're not living up to your ideal, you can't be great, and you're a hypocrite. But the second thing I would say is that it's history. When we look at the history of America, things that is not only done to its own people and the United States, but also around the world. For example, regime change in South America, what we've done in the Middle East, etc. Those things are not greatness. That's just imperialism, and I don't view imperialism as great.
Well, the
Make sense?
government sucks. The government totally sucks. And you know what? I think if you talk to most Americans, that's not how we want to run things. Like, I definitely wouldn't want to do it that way. I just, the government is fucked. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but it's
All
true.
good.
Yeah, we could see it now. I mean, even not now, but we all knew what was going on.
Hello?
Hey, hold on.
Hello?
Mute yourself before because I go one at a time. JPC, go ahead.
No, I think the government was always screwed, and whether they're doing it right or wrong, they're showing what's going on, and all the money they're sending over to other places instead of taking care of the American people, and where they should put the money to take care of the people who are struggling. I don't like it too. I don't want to say the wrong thing. How about that?
No, it's all good. Yeah, I agree that the government has done terrible things, right? Now, when it comes to like American society, I would even agree that for a large portion of American society, it was never great, because like even if you look at like if you look back into like history, right, like the '60s, we have a whole holiday for Martin Luther King now, but back then he was the most hated man in America. You know what I mean? Like people hated Martin Luther King. We only started to like him like recently, and even now people still don't really like Martin Luther King like
Can I
that.
ask you a question? What do you mean by recently?
Recently is basically like when Reagan made it a holiday. That's when people started actually have a good
grew up
opinion.
in the 80s and 90s, so
Right.
I don't know how old you are. I'm 50, so depends.
Right. Yeah, I was born in the '80s, so that's why. But like, it's pretty recent that
Martin
that.
Luther King wasn't a crybaby.
All right, hold on, Lee. You gotta mute yourself real quick, bro. I'll go one at a time, like I said. All right, you're gonna be next after. What's that? Doesn't make sense. You're gonna be next after him. All right, so just give me a second. Go ahead, JBC.
I'm not taking shots at Martin Luther King or anybody else, but a lot of leaders have been Jesus, they got arrested and stuff because the government was afraid of those people.
Mm-hmm.
They speak the truth. I'm not saying the president now or whatever, but a lot of the people that spoke the truth, they got rid of. Oh my God, it's just JFK, Martin Luther King, all these great leaders that we had speaking the truth, then they were done. You know,
Right,
they
right.
got rid of them one way or the other. And imagine if Martin Luther King was still here. I mean, he's pretty old, but I bet he would change the fucking country into such a better place.
Yeah, possibly. I believe that as well. If Martin Luther King was still around, then we would be at a much better place. But he would have pursued reparations because he actually said that he would have. And before hey, Christina, appreciate you, Christina. Yeah, so he actually would have pursued reparations because he said he would have. But like, yeah, so like I understand like what people point is saying that the government is the one that did all these things, right? And I would agree. The government is the one that backed, segregation, the one that backed treating black people as, terrible people. But the government is the one that did it, but they did have the backing of the people. You know what I mean? The people on that time, or I say the dominant group at that time, which is still the dominant group now, they supported these policies. You know what I'm saying? So it was not just the government. They had the people on their side as well. I mean, the dominant people, you feel me? Now, society has changed a lot. I'll give it that. Society has changed a lot. But the fact that we're having this conversation where we know that the government caused damage to a group of people, and we're saying, hey, the government should fix that damage, and we're all like fighting over it of whether or not they should do so, it's kind of silly to me. It's like the government did this to black people. Why shouldn't they fix it?
I agree with you totally. Can I ask you a question without you getting angry?
Sure.
Why didn't the black people rise up and take care of their own communities instead of pushing their communities down by like selling drugs and stuff? I understand the government pushed stuff into it, but why weren't the black people strong enough to fight it? I know that the school systems aren't great and stuff, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Not being insensitive or trying to insult anybody. I'm asking you an actual question.
So why did bad people choose to do bad things? Yeah.
No,
Yeah, no, like yeah, sure, there were like powder pushers in the community, and a lot of that powder came from the government, right? Yeah, sure. Like I understand that, yeah, but like when we look at this, is something that happens in every community. It's not something that's like sacrosanct to black people. You feel me? Every community had powder pushers, especially Italians. So like it's not something that would just happen to black people. The difference is that the negative effects affected black people more because of the conditions that we're already in.
Yeah. No, I know that. I'll be honest with you. I grew up in Bergen County, New Jersey, and it was mostly YT. And but it was definitely a mix, and I was good friends with everybody. I love everybody. I take everybody for who they are. And then I lived in Patterson, New Jersey, and it wasn't great. I had no problems with anybody because I was cool with everybody. But the drugs were rampant. There were bars on every corner. There were strip clubs on every corner, and I saw the difference between where I grew up and then where I was living. And that's what the government did. They're pushing people down and forcing shit down their throats. And you could accept it or you could fight. But you know what? A lot of times, you're fighting hard and you're working hard, and it's easier to accept things, that make you happy. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong, but that's how I saw it.
No, I don't disagree with you that a lot of the issues that we see, like especially racially, were a lot of it happened because of government backing. But at the same time, what I always tell people is that the government didn't just put these policies in because they want to put them in. Like the society supported it. You know what I mean? Like the society at that time supported it. Not the black folks, of course, but folks in a dominant society. You know what I mean? People who were the majority demographic. They supported these policies. They supported Jim Crow. They supported redlining. They supported Plessy v. Ferguson. They supported it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just the government. Like the government couldn't put these things in place if everyone was against it. Like we would have voted them out. But they put them in place because they knew they would have got voted back in. Makes sense?
No, it does. But you know what? Most people vote for like presidents. How many people vote for congressmen and mayors? Like I never really did. I'll be quite honest with you because I didn't. I never even really voted until Obama. You know, I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not worried about all that. I never really thought about it. You know, because I don't know. Things seem to like be going along, and I was friends with everybody. It doesn't matter what color, what race, what gender. I didn't give a crap. I'm like, oh, we're all good. You know, I have my group of friends, and we're all happy. Now things are getting really fucked up, and like now we got to fix it.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, what I'll always tell everybody is that a lot of these tensions were already here. They were just under the surface. You know what I mean? And I don't think it was because of Obama, but it wasn't because of him. You see what I'm saying? Like he's not the one that brought these tensions to the surface, but his presence did. And we've seen that happen over and over in history. When there's a black face in power, it brings out a lot of people who are just
Brings out
vehemently
anger.
against that for some reason. Yeah, and just bent on the anger.
I
Jenny,
was
give me a
so
second, please.
supportive. I was like, yeah, man. I'm like, good. This guy had great ideas, you know, and I thought he did great. I thought he did a great job. You know what? You never know because you know what? I'm not saying him, but like everybody, the government hides everything from us. You never know who's doing what or what happened when. You know,
Exactly. All right, well, JPC, I appreciate you being up here. I'm going to go ahead and move on, but I appreciate you being up here, bro.
well, I got to ask you one more question.
Sure thing.
You know, I see a lot of hate on YT people lately, and that's you know what, it doesn't bother me. But I'm like, why is it that bad? Like, is it are they pissed off at the younger YT people or the older YT people? I just don't get it.
It's both. They're pissed off at the older YT people for putting the system in place, and they're pissed off at the younger YT people for not trying to dismantle it, even though they participate in everything that's culturally ours. Like younger YT people love hip hop. They use our slang. They dress exactly like us. Like there is no more suburban YT culture. Back when I was growing up, I was listening to Linkin Park. I was watching Clueless. I was Britney Spears was popping. You know what I mean? We had Green Day. Like we had System of a Down. Like young YT suburbans had their own thing going on. Now they amalgamated into our culture, which is fine, but they amalgamated into our culture while at the same time propping up the same system that oppressed us, or they deny that system even ever existed.
Or
You
they
see what I'm saying? Like
don't
my
understand it.
first guest that came up literally said I hated America and told me to go back to Africa. He sounded like he was 20 something, and he didn't even give a chance for us to have a discussion. He just saw that I said America was never great and got upset, and was using AAVE, was using slang, and apparently then it doesn't even like me. You see what I'm saying? Like that's why people are angry at them. It's like you're kind of using our language and dressing like us and listening to our music, but you don't like us. So it doesn't make any sense. You see what I mean? That's why
No,
they're.
I understand that. You know, the problem is they're not educated in life. You know, a lot of people look at things on just TikTok. They don't go and check things out and see what life's about. Me and you, we grew up together, right? How old are you? I'm sorry. How old did you say?
I'm in my 30s.
Oh, well, I'm 50. But I grew up with my friends, and I listened to my friends and heard what they had to say. And it's sad that no one checks out information. As soon as they see something, they agree with it. You know, whether it's TikTok or BS, news. It's sad. You know,
Right.
So how do we get everybody together? That's what I want to know. How do we all work together?
We need to acknowledge a lot of the issues that have existed and still exist and that still affect us, not just racially, but in class as well. Because like I said, when it comes to reparations, it comes with repairing the criminal justice system, which affects poor whites. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to me that like a lot of them are against reparations because part of it would be addressing and fixing systems that affect you too. You know what I mean? It's not just us. And fixing the education system, which also affects poor whites, poor Hispanics, and poor Asians. All that affects us, but like if we actually work together to say hey, a lot of the issues in this country, a lot of systems that were built up that affects all of us were built around racism. Then when we see that, we're like, okay, the issue is that it's white supremacy, and white supremacy can negatively affect everyone, not just black people. Then we'll be able to move forward and fix these issues. You know what I mean? Now, of course, a lot of people who are on my side of the aisle, like especially a lot of Marxists, will say, it's capitalism that's the problem, and I don't disagree with that at all, because which is why I say like democratic socialism is better because we can achieve more, for humanity. But yeah, we need to address the fact that a lot of these systemic issues were built upon, hating black people, hating people of color, and if we address that and fix it, we'll be a lot better.
No, I agree 100%. But how do we get like a big, profile to take care of that? Like, how do we make people see what we're talking about? Like, I totally agree with you. But how do we get to that point? Like, where can you get to that level that everybody listens and wants to change the world?
I think part of it is doing stuff like this, like actually talking and getting to actual conclusion, actual consensus, like understanding each other's viewpoint. Not like my first guest who just came up here to yell at me, but like actually people discussing these things, even if we disagree, to discuss them and understand them, and try to get to a better viewpoint. Because a lot of people that have came up before that completely disagree with me on reparations, they at least understood where I was coming from. You know what I mean? If we can go ahead and do that, actually get to an understanding, then we'll be at a much better place to actually go to put policies in. Does that make sense? Because like when I was growing up, we had South Park and King of the Hill Republicans. Now all we have is MAGA Republicans. I don't know what happened to the Hank Hill Republican. You know what I mean? The Hank Hill Republican were just normal, regular, everyday guys who understood these problems but just had a different idea on how to fix it. We don't have those anymore. We have people who completely deny the issue. I want to go back to that. I want to talk to more Hank Hill Republicans than the MAGA Republicans we got today.
No, I agree with you. It makes so much sense. Definitely. And I was never a Republican. I was a Democrat through and well, that's not true. I always picked the side that I thought who would do the best. First time I was able to vote, I voted for Ross Perot. I don't know.
Well, yeah, Ross Perot was dope. I wish Ross Perot won. I wish he won.
I thought he was a businessman. I'm like, we need a businessman to run this country, and I'm not a huge Trump supporter, but I like that he's going in and cleaning up all the crap, like all the crappy spending that our taxpayers pay for, stuff in other countries. Why don't we take care of the people here? The veterans and schools and all that. That's what they need to be doing instead of spending billions of dollars all over the world. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for it, but I don't see it.
Yeah. I mean, like I think a lot of and I gotta let you down a bit because I got other guests, but I think a lot of the reason why people support Trump is because they thought that he was gonna come in and make a difference. But like, if you actually take a look at what he's doing, it's not really that. Yeah, sure, he's shrinking, the size of federal employees, but like I don't think he actually. Well, it's true. He doesn't really actually know what he's doing, because like it was just like a week or 2 weeks ago, he fired everyone who was supposed to be looking after the nuclear weapons until he rehired them because they were supposed to be looking after the nuclear weapons. Doesn't really know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that concern me. But I do appreciate you coming up, JPC. I gotta go ahead and move on. Appreciate you.
I'll say one more thing before I leave.
Sure.
I understand what you're saying about Trump. I think he's trying to just shake a lot of stuff up and see what falls out of trees, and he's going to back down with tariffs and all that. And you know what? Hey, I'm going to follow you because I think you're a great man, and I'd love to talk to you again.
Appreciate you, man.
I'll let you go.
Appreciate you, JPC. WJPC in the chat, y'all. All right. So I know you guys were waiting for a while. It doesn't make sense. Are you over 18, and do you disagree with something I have on the board?
Yes, sir.
All right, give me a second. Jenna, are you over 18, and do you disagree with something I have on the board? Hold on, let me invite her to unmute. Jenna, you can unmute yourself. Are you over 18, and do you disagree with something I have on the board?
Yes, I am over 18, and I don't know if I disagree.
All right, cool. User, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Are you over 18, and do you disagree with something I have on the board?
I don't know if I really disagree, but
right.
yeah, I'm 18. I'm over.
All right, cool. Over 18. All right, cool. Dorothy, I got you. All right, Dorothy, I see you in the guest. Go ahead and stay there. Let me talk to Doesn't Make Sense first. Doesn't Make Sense. How's it going?
Pretty good. You doing good?
I'm all right. What do you disagree with?
Ooh, why should I believe in God?
All right. Yeah. Why should I believe in a God?
Mm, because life doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean?
Like questions in general don't make sense.
Questions in general don't make sense. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what you mean by
yeah.
that.
Why don't you know? Why don't you just know everything?
That's just not how knowledge works.
But okay. So like, where does knowledge come from?
Knowledge comes from like basically experience, our discoveries, etc.
And then where does that come from?
Our discoveries? You
Yeah,
mean like the universe?
yeah.
The what do you mean come from? Like as far as we know, like space time expanded from the Big Bang. We don't know where it comes from. No one knows that.
So the Big Bang is the Big Bang what you believe in?
Yeah, the Big Bang is the one that has the most evidence at the moment.
Oh, that makes sense. See, the Big Bang sounds good because to me, that's the same as like a person saying, "Come on, let there be light," and then creating the whole universe.
No, it's not the same thing.
Why
Bec-
not?
Because the Big Bang is a natural process. Someone saying "Let there be light" is an incantation spell.
An incantation spell versus a big old boom and then creating the whole universe.
It wasn't a big old boom. It was an expansion of space time.
So an expansion of space time. So like like how does that work? Like you know what I'm saying? How does space and time expand?
You have to talk to a physicist. I don't know.
You don't know.
No,
All
you have to
right.
talk to a
Well,
physicist. There's a physicist on TikTok right now called Dr. Blitz. You can also go to on YouTube. There's a playlist of astronomy by a man named Professor Dave. You can talk to him. You can go down to your local university if they have an astronomy department or a cosmology department, and you can talk to them about it. I have no clue. I'm not a physicist.
true, true, true. Uh, dang. Uh, so just freaking just space and time just boom, and then the whole universe and galaxies and everything.
Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Jenna, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm alright. I'm alright. Nana in Virginia, I do see you in the guest box. I'm gonna bring you up right. I'm next, okay? Hey, all right, Jenna. So you said that you're over 18 and you're not sure if you disagree with anything on the board.
Well, I'm actually blind, so I couldn't read what you had on the board to disagree. So can you kind of tell me
Okay.
what your topics are, and I can kind of give you my feedback?
All right, sure. I have a few topics. The first one, which is what everybody gets mad about, is America was never great. I have being woke is good, reparations for Black Americans, why should I believe in a God, faith is unreliable for truth, holy books are not evidence, and democratic socialism is better than capitalism.
Well, America is not great. It never was great. I agree with that. And the second one that was after that one,
Being woke is good.
being woke is excellent.
Cool.
It's only bad for those that are still sleeping. It's bad for those that are still in a nightmare. It's bad for those that are still in a delusion. It's bad for those that like to daydream. It's bad for those that want to sugarcoat and act like they don't see anything. It's bad for those that think they're a musician but not a musician. It's bad for those people. It's
Yep.
not bad for those that are woken.
Yep. All right. Based. I have reparations for Black Americans.
I believe in reparations for us because if we had an even playing field, they wouldn't have anything to copy. Right now, they're copying us because we don't have an even playing field to move to the next level. So they're literally teeter totting right behind us. So give us what we deserve, give us what we need, let us go on our way, and we'll see the difference between us and them. And that's when the true segregation needs to take place. I don't believe we need to mingle with everything and everybody. I just don't.
Dope shit. All right. So it seems we pretty much on in agreement with basically everything.
Okay.
All right. But I appreciate you being up here, Jenna. All right. Dope.
Yep.
All right. Peace. Have a good one.
Yep.
All
You
right, y'all.
too.
W's for Jenna in the chat, y'all. W's for Jenna in the chat. User, how's it going?
It's all right.
All right. Do you disagree with anything I have on the board? And you said you already said you're over 18. Do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
I don't know. Not really. I don't think I do.
Oh, all right,
Why
cool.
should I
W.
believe in God? I mean, I believe in God, but I don't believe in forcing God on anybody. I believe that this should be somebody's um, choice. You know what I'm saying? Because if you accept it for yourself, then 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 it's good. It's good that you accept it for yourself versus somebody trying to force it on you.
Okay, cool. Now,
Right.
if you don't mind, I'll give my reasons why I don't believe. I don't believe because I don't see any evidence that is true, and I don't see any evidence that is true, so I don't have a reason to believe it, and it doesn't really have any utility for my life. Like in order to live a moral life, in order to have purpose and meaning for myself, in order to have a community, I don't need to believe in a God to do any of those things. So if it's unnecessary for me to believe and it doesn't really have any evidence that's convincing to me, then I just won't believe it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And for me, see, for me, I'm the opposite. I experienced life, and there's things that I experienced that made me accept that there was a God.
Well,
So
it's
I mean, so those are my experiences that rather than somebody told me about it, right? And and I accepted it, but at the same time, I questioned it. But then there were some things that happened in my that brought me to my belief in it. If that make any sense. So that's why I believe in it. My
right.
own
Got you.
personal experiences. Right.
No, no, I
Um.
understand. Is it the God of any like particular religion?
Well. Uh. I'm mostly spiritual. I'm mostly spiritual. Not. I don't. I don't get into all the dynamics of the Quran or the. I think it's only one God, and I think that we because we are spiritual people, one with nature and all the other stuff, right? Energy. I believe a spirit is an energy, right? Which that's what we have that allows us to wake up, open up our eyes, and all that other different stuff, right? And it is almost like a Wi-Fi being connected to a Wi-Fi, or a or a telephone looking for the Wi-Fi. You know that spiritual, uh, and so that's the way I believe in a spiritual thing versus all the rest of the stuff. I don't really understand. I believe that a lot of things that's in the Bible um, could have been put there for purposes that doesn't that has an agenda to it.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I could get that viewpoint because of just how intuitive it seems. But like, there's no reason to really believe that. A lot of things in our universe could just be natural processes that we don't yet understand because that's what we've always seen. Anytime that we've had to try to explain something in our natural universe, the supernatural was never really the answer. It was always something natural behind it. You feel me? Like fire, lightning, rain, volcanoes, earthquakes, hurricanes. All of it was always thought to be some sort of supernatural thing. And as human beings, as we progress in our society, we always found that it wasn't something supernatural, just a natural process of our planet. Yeah, I mean, it's something that just happens in our planet. You feel me? So when it comes to like coincidences in our universe and etc., it's basically the same thing. I don't see a reason to assume that it's something more behind it other than a natural process, even a natural process that we don't fully understand. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being up here, man.
All right. Thank you very much for allowing me to be up here.
Not a problem.
All
Have a
right.
good day.
You too.
All right. Nana in Virginia, you there?
I am. Thank you.
How's it going? Are you over 18 and do you disagree with something I have on the board?
I'm 69, and I
Cool.
don't disagree with a single thing that you have up there.
All right.
So I'm
Awesome.
not going to be very interesting, but I do have a question about reparations.
Sure thing.
I agree with reparations, but nobody has ever given me an explanation of how that would work.
Oh yeah, sure.
How do we do that?
Oh yeah, sure. Hold on, give me a second. Hey, dope. I gotta put you on mute real quick because your background. Give me a second. Yeah, sure. So this is the way that I think, as far as in the United States, most people will agree to how it works. First of all, with the Japanese have received, because Japanese just receive checks, so there's that, and there's also reparations of the systems that have affected African Americans for, their entire history here. Now, the way that we calculate the paycheck, I think that's already has been calculated essentially, but I think there's several ways to do it. The way that I've heard before is basically negative taxation. Essentially, all taxes that African Americans have paid throughout the entire year gets rebated back to them. You know what I mean? That's a form. That one is not very, very popular because, that could just get taken away with legislation. The other way is to basically just a straight up paycheck. You know what I mean? $100,000. I don't know, maybe every 5 or 10 years, or every year $10,000 until it's all paid up. You see what I mean? Now there are about 45 million African Americans, 48 million black people in the United States. 45 million are directly African American. The other 3 are like myself, like second generation immigrant, like my parents are from Haiti. You know what I mean? I'll get to that one in a second. So it could either be like $10,000 a year, $100,000 a year, and until we're caught up on the entire check. But I think the other important part is the actual part of dismantling the systems that actually have economically affected African Americans, like the education system, that the way that it works right now, the way that it's funded. That needs to be funded another way, completely reformatted as well. I think schools in red line areas should have like a trade school. Like every single student graduates with a trade. Like you graduate as a plumber, electrician, a CDL driver, etc. So not only do your parents get that check every year, but you also graduate as a senior as a plumber, and you don't have to either go to college or not know what you're gonna do with your life. You see what I mean? You're already gonna have a way to get through. So that makes the community more economically viable. You see what I mean? Now, when it comes to outside of the United States, for example, like I said, I'm Haitian, right? I think the people who should give my people reparations are the French, because the French are the ones who enslaved me, and we had to pay them for recognition, and they worked with the United States before in order to economically stifle Haiti. You see what I'm saying? So I think the French is who owes me reparations. The United States does as well, but only after African Americans receive their reparations. You see what I mean? Also, I think the great European powers, basically Western Europe, Portugal, Spain, France, the United Kingdom, and Belgium, they should do something to fix their damage that they've done on the African continent itself. You know what I mean? And to the Caribbean as well. Like my wife is Jamaican, right? I think that the United Kingdom owes like Jamaica, Trinidad, Bahamas, Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, etc. All the European powers who have negatively affected the Caribbean and Africa. Whether it's going to be money or not, I'm not sure how that would work 100%. But I do think there needs to be some sort of repair that they've done. Basically, and not just like investment into those countries, but what we've seen when it comes to like Western investment into Africa is basically just taking over the resources, essentially. Like Canada has several companies in the Congo that are basically just 100% owned by Canada, and they're just siphoning off the resources and have like basically child slavery over in the Congo. That's not what investment in those countries should be. It should be investment into an indigenous Congolese country, and Congolese company that hires other Congolese people with investment from Canada, and probably with their guidance, because a lot of Congolese don't know what to do with the resources, or like have the engineering prowess. But that education, in order for them to do it themselves, teach them how to fish, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does.
One second. I'm sorry, my phone is being. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. Now I know I said a lot, but does all that make sense?
It does. The only problem I see with that is we can't control those other countries and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
We can, we barely can control ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's the hurdle. I agree. That's the hurdle.
That no, you've done it very well. Thank you. Because that's been my only question for a long time is how would we go about that? Mm-hmm. I think it's.
No, I understand exactly what you mean, because one thing that I've said that I think it's kind of sad, but I kind of think it that's really one of the only ways that happen is essentially there probably has to be a revolution, and that revolution will not be peaceful. You see what I'm saying? So it's really every single time that especially black people in this country have risen up to get the what's owed to black people in this country, it always ended in bloodshed. You know what I mean? So it's like it seems that I don't want it to go that way. You know what I mean? Which is why I do stuff like this for people to actually talk and understand each other. I don't want it to go that way. But like that's one of the ways where that may happen, and I'm not sure if it's a good idea. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, so many people don't consider the amount of generational wealth that's been lost. That there was never a chance for it to be accumulated.
Exactly.
And I mean, so yeah, I mean, the slave owners got reparations.
They definitely did.
Yeah, they did. So yeah, like I said, like I said, I'm not an op. Like I said, I agree with everything up here. I wanted someone to explain to me, and you, by the way, did an excellent job. Excellent. That was really good. I appreciate that very much. And yeah, you're speaking. You're making a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Gotcha. I appreciate you, Nana.
So, but thank you. That was it. I just, like I said, yeah, that's helped my mind a lot, because
Gotcha.
it's like I agree with it, but how do we do that?
How do we do it? Yeah, exactly.
How do we do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. I think Dr. Sandy Darity, he's actually been trying to for a long time take the United States to the Supreme Court, to sue the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? In order to do it that way, because that's
Good
what
luck
kind
with
of
that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with it. Yeah, especially now. Yeah, especially, right.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately, I'm sick. Like I said, I'm 69 yet. Some days I'm glad I'm as old as I am, because I won't be around for so much shit that's going on.
yeah. No, I gotta raise my child in this, and it's like, my goodness.
Unfortunately, I don't see it happening in your lifetime either.
Yeah. I've said that before. I said it's not gonna probably happen in my lifetime. Probably happen in my grandchild's lifetime. So it's it is what it is. But at least we start the fight now. You see now?
Oh yeah, gotta start somewhere.
Exactly.
So thank you very much for having me up and answering my question. I really appreciate it, and like I said, you did an excellent job.
No problem. I appreciate you being here.
Very well thought out and explained, and I appreciate it a lot.
No problem. W for Nana in the chat. Y'all appreciate you, Nana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the dope cat lady, I think is your name. I don't think you're an up of mine though. How's it going? Oops, let me invite you to unmute.
No, definitely not in opposition, but where it says America was never great, I think it depends on what side you was on. Because when they keep saying make it great, yeah, for that 1%, and not even just them, the whites. The whiteys, sorry.
No problem.
That's who it was great for. That's who is still benefiting. And then the being woke part, as a minority, of course I'm woke. I know what's going on around me, but anyone else, I think way more people are woke than what is acknowledged, because they want their privilege, and they know they'll say, there's no white privilege. No, I don't get it. But you wouldn't want to trade places with me. They wouldn't want to trade places with you. They don't want to get treated like you or me. So they know, and I think that they are actually woke. Nobody's really that dumb at all, not to be woke in 2025. They are very much, but they are very comfortable in what it is that they have, and they do not want to give that up. So that was my thing on the being woke. It's like they are, and it makes them even more guilty and even more evil, because you know that you're benefiting. You can be as mediocre as possible. Look who is running running the country. Just look at it. I didn't even like Obama, but they would have never let him just have some random in there with his little kid and just doing anything. No other president would have been able to get away with anything that this man is getting away with. But just because they like him because he's rude and just uncouth, he can be there and he can do it, and it's ridiculous. They would never let anybody else do it.
Yeah,
so that was my point.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
no,
People have to be
definitely not a op.
No, it's all good. But yeah, black folks have to be like damn near perfect in order for us to get half of what they have. You know what I mean? Like it's always been that way, which is always crazy. Can you give me for just a second? All right, y'all. We got 5.9K people in here. I see 30K. I see we got 5.9K likes. 30 people in here. Keep watching Black and Alive. I might do a reset so for us to get more people in here again. Damon, I do see you in the comments. You're still crashing out. I've invited you up, Damon, multiple times. If you're not gonna come up, then I'm just gonna go ahead and mute you from this live, because I don't do this. I don't do the yapping in the comments. Come on up. Actually have a discussion. I can invite Issa up as well if you want to actually have a discussion with her. But come on up and actually talk to us instead of just going on yapping and crashing out. But go ahead, Dopus. I'm sorry.
No, those were my main points, and just people throwing the word racist around. It was more so when I first came in the room on the live that they were, and I don't think that people really know what that is, because they were still calling minorities racist, which is not even possible. But prejudice is totally different from being racist. So maybe that's why only white people don't know that they are racist. But it's a lot of ignorance, and these platforms, they do so much good for the ones that want to learn and know, but for the ones that just want to stay ignorant and wallow in it, it is really doing a lot, and it's really hitting our younger people, and those are the ones that are so ridiculously impressionable. Before I came in here, it was all these 18 and 19-year-old people who just got to vote. They couldn't even say why they like the president. I just like who he is, so yeah. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what is going on.
Yeah, what I've pointed out before is that a lot of the youth has content brain. Essentially, like a lot of like if you look at a lot of streamers, a lot of content creators now, a lot of them are just doing stuff for attention. That's really all it is, just
Absolutely.
attention seeking. And Trump is basically one of the biggest attention seekers like out there. You see what I'm saying? So if it's like all about seeking attention, then yeah, they're gonna like who it is because it's content essentially. You know what I mean? So that's basically what's going on. I think a lot of our youth are stuck on streamer brain. You know what I mean? Excuse me. They're
Because they
stuck on
don't
like
know no better.
they don't know any
They
better.
don't
Exactly.
know any better at all. I'm actually a Republican and have been pretty much since I could vote. But I knew not to vote for him. I know nothing he had going on was checking for me. I don't even like Kamala. Never did at all. Knew she wasn't checking for my people, but it was the lesser of the evils. That's what I do know. I know nothing on this agenda, and it was printed. Everybody wants to act surprised. It was it's a whole book on it, a big long book. He said what he was going to do, but people were so pressed about the price of eggs, they put this crazy man in here, and now he's the vice president, and Muskrat is president.
Is the
So
president,
yeah,
yeah.
this is real nutty.
Oh man, very, very, nutty, very, very insane. And you know, I'm afraid kind of the future, but I do hope things get better and people wake up and become, you know, we need to like common sense back into politics because it's just
These
not
people
there
are
right now.
sponges, and they are just tuned into him and will do anything. We don't need no more Capitol climbers, none of that nonsense. But you know, they're ready to go. Like they just want a reason to do something crazy. So these next 4 years, I'm
It's gonna be a little crazy.
afraid.
Yeah. I'm a little afraid, but I'm not completely black pilled because one thing that I realize as well is that a lot of them are so incompetent. It's not just, you know, they don't know what to do, but they don't even know how to do it. You know what I mean? A lot of the orders that he's putting in place, a lot of them don't even know how they're supposed to be doing it. And like a lot of Trump's own like court appointees are saying, nah, this is not how our country is ran. You just can't do whatever the hell you want. So a lot of even them are going against it. So it's like
21 jump ship today. He said, I'm not going down. I'm not going down with the ship.
it's like I'm not doing this. Like this is just not how things are ran. That's not how you do a country, you know. So
But
it's
the
like
fact that he's able to do it, that's
Exactly.
the scary part.
That's the scary part.
That's the scary part. Is he's doing it, and then okay, later people are looking at it, but the fact that he can even do it is unreal.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scary part. Give me 1 second, please. Dope. All right, Damon. Like, come on, man. I've invited you up several times. If you don't keep talking to Issa, I'm gonna go ahead and bring Issa up. I'm gonna bring Issa up to the stage because Damon keeps talking to her, and he just wants to keep talking in the comments. Like I said, I do not talk to people to the comments. How's it going, Issa?
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I've seen that you've been going back and forth with Damon in the comments for a while now, and for some reason he doesn't want to come up. He'll probably disappear if you since you're up now and you won't be talking back.
I'm absolutely down to talk with him.
Yeah, I'm absolutely down. I've invited him up several times already. Let's see if he responds or you know he disappears for some reason.
Well, I hope he joins us.
All right, y'all. Sorry for the brightness, y'all. All right, y'all. We are at 6.3K live 25 here, and I would appreciate anyone who's yeah, he's just gonna stay in the comments. All right, so if that's the case, I might go ahead and do it for the live then, because I don't like cowards like that. Hey, Damon, you gonna come up? Just give me a yes or no. Don't say nothing else. Say yes or no, Damon. Are you going to come up? Because the person that you've been talking to is up on the stage. Why don't you come up? You have no followers.
There's a character limit. Come talk. It's easier.
Just tell me yes or no, Damon. If the next comment out of you is not a yes or no, then I'm just gonna go ahead and mute you for the live, because I'm getting tired of the back and forth. It's making me dizzy. Oh boy. But yeah, these next 4 years are going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll see what happens. And I think maybe in about a year and a half, a lot of the people who supported MAGA are gonna see that, you know, they're either getting fired from their jobs, losing their farms, or like things are just not going well. And yeah, he's gonna get the blame for it. Right now, it's this nebulous, you know, idea of the liberals getting all the blame, or the woke getting the blame, or the swamp. This kind of nebulous idea of that is getting all the blame for everything that's going wrong. You know what I mean? But as soon as things start really going to shit, that's when we'll see. That's when we'll see, you know, them finally. I think we'll start to see people finally understand that, you know, yeah, like tariffs are bad. You know.
I mean, it's already happening. Federal employees who voted for him are losing their jobs. Gas isn't getting cheaper. Groceries aren't getting cheaper. The market's doing worse and is predicted to get even worse. Damon, come on.
Yo, Damon, you real? Why would you want to change our mind? Why don't you just come on up in order to like have us understand your viewpoint? Why
You
you
don't
just
even
change your
have to
mind?
change your mind. Why do you have to, like, what's the deal with having to change my mind? We can still have a conversation without agreeing.
Yeah, because I know that you won't change your mind.
No, I'm not going to change my mind. I'm 44 years old and I'm well studied and well educated. Everything I believe has been well thought out of. I don't buy into bigotry.
Hey, Damon, I can change my mind if you give me evidence and good reason. If you don't give me any good evidence or any good reason, why should I change my mind?
That's a good point. I will change my mind in the face of evidence. Data, I can't turn away good data.
Yeah, exactly. If you give me good data, if you give me good reason, even if you don't have like a whole lot of data behind it, if you have a good reason.
Look, but we're telling you, if you come on up and you have data and you can back up your claims, if there's a reason, if there's a genuine, legitimate reason for you to be able to change my mind will be changed.
You know what's funny, Damon? We're telling you that we'll change our mind if you have good data and good reason, and you're not changing your mind when we gave you data. Like, we're giving you the data right now. We're telling you we'll change our mind if you have good data and you have good reason. We're telling you that, but you won't change your mind to come up.
It sounds like you're the one who's being rigid and closed-minded, Damon.
Yeah. You see, Damon, you're the one being closed-minded because we're telling you that we'll change our mind or we'll even consider what you have to say if you have some good data or have some good reason. But you're not doing that. So you're the one being closed-minded.
But I can't say that I think it's strange that you find it impossible to have a conversation with somebody unless you're convinced you can change their mind. That doesn't sound like any way to get through the world.
You see, Damon, again, I'm not going to keep going through this, bro. Are you going to actually have a discussion with us? That's all we're trying to ask because we're telling you, like, yeah, if you have good reason, if you have good data, if you have something that can actually, prove your point, then yeah, come on up.
He said data is faith. We don't
Yeah,
live
yeah,
on the same planet.
we don't live on the same planet. Yeah, this is a waste of time. If you're gonna say data is faith, then you're wasting our time, Damon. You're wasting our time. Sorry, man. Sorry, bro. All right, so I'm gonna mute you for this first live. You can come on later. You can come back later. But like, nah, bro. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. All right, y'all. We got 6.3K likes. I don't you crashing on YouTube. Oh, I was crashing out saying, stop doing this and yada yada yada. Let's see. All right, cool. On the Black Atheist YouTube, we got 16 concurrent viewers, 419 views. I appreciate you all. I don't have a way for y'all to join yet. I'm gonna do video engine next time. You all could join. But I appreciate you all on the Black Atheist YouTube for joining. Had a whole bunch of crash out there. Whole bunch of crash out there. Everyone arguing about evolution being fake, etc., etc. A whole bunch of crash out there. It had a Muslim crash out on my personal YouTube. Oh boy, shout out everyone on there. But yeah, I appreciate you all there. My YouTube link, dope, is in my bio. You go to my bio and my link. In the bio, you'll see the my personal channel and everything. Okay. All right, y'all. So 6.5K people, 23 people in here. Oh, 23 folks in here. And I think I ran out of opposition pretty quick. How you been doing, Lisa?
I'm okay, just laying here with my dog. That's what I'm normally doing this time. How are you?
I'm alright. Not too bad. Just been doing this. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of people in here earlier. You know what I mean? Just really upset at me. Very
All
upset.
crashing out people though. Almost every single time I see you're live on, somebody's crashing out.
People just be mad, bro. Like, I don't get it. What's that for, bro? Like, relax, chill. Just having a normal, good faith discussion. Like, the first person that came up, like, he came up here and just cussed me the hell out. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, what is the problem?
Damn.
Like, talk, yo. Jesus Christ.
Well,
I might do a reset though.
What's that?
No, I said I might do a reset just to
okay.
see if we can get some more people in here. Yeah, because I ran out of gas really quick. Everybody came in hot, angry, and then left.
I'm surprised Damon had so much to say in the comments, but refused to come up. That's a shame, and that's kind of bad form.
Because you know what it is? They can do really quick things. Like, I've seen that. It's called reptilian arguments. Essentially, they can do really quick jabbers, quick talking points, things like that go really quick. But when you're in a formal type of discussion, you can actually expound and explain yourself. And if he says something that I can explain and expound in 3 different points, like dismantle everything that he said, then he really can't do the quick jabby debate thing. You know what I mean?
I got you. It feels safe in little burst.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotcha in little burst. But
Exactly.
real conversation or real dialogue is where they get stumped.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick reset. I'm not sure if I think I'll come up with the same topic. But I'm gonna do a quick reset, and I'll be right back. All right.
What are you on YouTube again? Black Atheist, you said?
Yeah, I have the Black Atheist Coalition on that's one of my channels, and the other channel is my personal one, Volsy Thoughts.
Okay. I'm gonna find you and follow you.
Not a problem. The link is in my bio too. So once I reset, you'll be able to see.
Oh, word.
All right. Let's go ahead and get it jumping. All right, y'all. Welcome back. We'll have a quick reset. Let's do a quick reset. Quick reset. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my link in the YouTube. We'll drop my link in the YouTube. Hey, Burns, I see you in the YouTube. Burns, how's it going? I see you over there on YouTube. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. For those on the Black Atheist Coalition, I'm dropping on my link. For those on the Black Atheist Coalition channel, I'm dropping my link. Yeah, join me there. All right, y'all. Go ahead and start liking the live, start sharing. Start liking the live, start sharing. I appreciate you all being here. Start liking the live, start sharing. Once again, I appreciate all y'all being here. I appreciate all the guests. I appreciate all the likes. Yeah, go ahead and come up and have a discussion, man. Shout out to all the folks watching over on the YouTube. And shout out to all the folks watching on the Twitch. What up, Burns? I appreciate you there watching on the Twitch, Burns. Or the YouTube, actually. I'm going to start having an invite link for the YouTube guests. I'm going to probably start doing that next week. I just got to test it out this week. This week, I'm going to test it out. And then next week, we'll have... all right, Ox 45 is actually not rage bait. It actually is not rage bait. I believe in all these things. And we have our first guest. All right, is your name Bookman? All right, there we go. All right, Bookman, are we still there?
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it. Sorry about that. All right, so are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yes, I'm over 18 or 28. I agree with all those coins. Love all of them.
All right, cool. Dope. Based. So let me go ahead and invite someone else up. Oh, Ox 45 is not 18. How old are you, Ox 45? All right. Yeah, but you're not opposition. You know what I mean, I got to get some opposition up here, and for people to actually, learn and learn things and actually have a discussion because of course people never want to have a discussion. They just want to kind of yell at me. All right, y'all. So like the live and share it. I appreciate you both now for being up here, man. I appreciate you. All right, like the live, all right? All right, y'all. So go ahead with the live and share it. Go ahead like the live and share it. 15. You'll learn about the world soon. You see, since you're too young, I actually will talk to you through the chat. Why do you think what I have up here is rage bait? All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody joining. Appreciate everybody joining. Go ahead, like, live, and share it. If you disagree with anything I have on the board, go ahead and come on up. Do not just talk in the comments. I actually want to have a discussion. Go ahead and hit that guest button, and we can go ahead and come on up, and we can actually have a fruitful debate, a fruitful discussion. I'm just looking for debates, y'all. Let's go with everybody here. Yeah, all right, y'all. We got folks watching on the Black Atheist YouTube. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate y'all watching over on my personal channel, Volsy Thoughts. And if you're on Twitch, I appreciate you. Why would you spread your opinion? Why wouldn't I? Yeah, bro, they be yelling like crazy. All right, Robert, come on up. I sent you an invite, Robert. If you want to go ahead and come up, Robert, go ahead and come on up. Robert, why don't you just come on up? I stream on I stream here, and I cross stream it over to my Instagram and to my YouTubes. All right, yes, sir, Bob. I'm gonna go ahead and invite you up since you got a lot to say. All right, Stillman USA. I'm gonna invite you up. Go ahead and let me know why I'm wrong. All right, y'all. One of the rules that I have on my stream is that I don't yap to the comments. I don't yap to the comments. If you just comment, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you up. If you comment that you disagree with anything that I have here, I'm gonna go ahead and just bring you up. All right, Robert, if I'm irrelevant, you would have swiped out already. I'm not sure why you're still here then. Hey, Stillman, again, I'm gonna invite you up. All right, I'm gonna keep inviting you up. If you don't want to come up, stop being a coward and actually come up and actually have a talk. Yeah, I gotta stop all that coward shit, bro. Come on up and actually have a talk. Yeah, of course they're subjective. That's why it's called a debate. Hi, I'm funded. All right, hi. I'm gonna go ahead and request to bring you up too as well. This is the thing. Why do y'all always want to just talk in the comments? Does it feel like safer there? It doesn't have to be a fight. It doesn't have to be a fight at all. It could be a chill discussion. It doesn't have to be a fight at all. It could be just a chill discussion. All right, y'all. Go ahead and keep liking, keep sharing. Keep liking and keep sharing. All right, let's see. Philly Eric. I'm going to go ahead and invite you up, Philly. I'm going to invite you up, Philly Eric. I know you've never seen this live before. This is the first time I'm seeing you. But like I've always said, don't just talk to the comments. Go ahead and talk to me. Chill guy, you as well. Go ahead and come on up. Hey, chill guy, I'm gonna go ahead and send you an invite. All right. Okay.
Hey,
And so we got Gideon and we got Trump Prophet. All right, Trump Prophet gets you after Gideon. Okay. Hey Gideon, how's it going?
pretty good, man.
All right, are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yeah, I'm 18 years old and I agree with everything. Or not agree with everything. I disagree with everything here.
Disagree with everything I got here. Okay, go ahead and start with. I got about 10 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and start with one, and with any of them that you want to start with, and we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
All right, but why should I believe in God? Because there's simply
Yeah,
too
sure. Why
much
should I believe
evidence
in God?
So because there's simply too much evidence to believe that there's not. If you are a believer
All right,
in
what
the
evidence do you
fact
have?
that, huh?
What evidence do you have?
The constants of the universe. I mean, you look at gravitational constant. If that was slightly off, the universe would collapse in on itself, or the strong nuclear force. If that was slightly off, then atoms would be able to form. And if so, everything is just as it should be for life, because life requires ridiculously specific conditions to be met for it to exist. If all that is a coincidence, then man, you should be playing the lottery every freaking day, because you
Okay.
got better faith in odds and numbers than in the fact that there could be a creator.
Okay. Well, a few things. When it comes to the universal constants, that's only the constants that we know of our universe. That doesn't mean that another universe can't have a different type of set of constants. Now, of course, we can't discover another universe because we don't know if there's any other universe. But like but there have been mathematical models where they've changed some of these constants, and just by a few changes, you can still have stable universes. You can still have stable atoms. Like a lot of physicists have written papers on that. That's number one. So the constants in our universe are just applied to our universe. That doesn't mean that it can never be that way. It's just the way that our universe is shaped. These are the constants. That's number one. But number two, even if that was the case, where no universe can form without these specific set of constants, that doesn't apply to God either.
But it certainly implies that there is some intelligent design behind it.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if I happen to walk a chicken, a cow into a kitchen, and I was to set off some dynamite, would I be getting a cake?
I'm gonna need you to ask that one more time.
If I walked a chicken and a cow into a kitchen and set off some dynamite, would I get a cake?
No, but I'm not sure how this is analogous.
Okay, so if you're gonna have an explosion in space where it's all rock and there's raw material, the fact that an explosion would make would make galaxies form, would make planets form, would make something as specific as Earth form with water and land and just the ridiculously intricacy of biology between humans, animals, plants, all that.
Are you
The
asking?
fact
Are
that
you
an
talking
explosion
about
in
the Big Bang?
space,
Are you talking about the Big Bang?
yeah,
Big Bang
yeah,
wasn't
the
an
fact that,
explosion.
why do we call it the Big Bang if it wasn't an explosion?
It's a misnomer. It's just an expansion of space time. Like, there are
Yeah,
misnomers, right? Things that sound like one thing, but they're not that thing. But it's just a misnomer. But it's not. It's not an actual explosion. Like, have you? I'm not sure if you ever read Big Bang cosmology, but they don't explain it as an explosion. They don't even explain it as the beginning of the universe. Something else could have happened before that. That's just as far back as we can go. But it's not an explosion. It's just an expansion of space time.
but thing is none of us were around during that time. Therefore,
Right, but
we
the
don't.
right, but the mathematical models and the predictions that would come from that is what we've seen. Hey Mav, I'm gonna bring you up next. Just give me a few minutes. Yeah, but the mathematical models that like, for example, the math fits into what we see, and not only that, if the math would fit, there will be certain predictions that you can make to show that the Big Bang happened. And when we made those predictions, we actually saw them come true, like the cosmic microwave background radiation. That was like predicted by George Lemaitre to be part of the Big Bang. Like, we will actually be able to see that, right? And then a few years later, through the Hubble telescope, we did see that. So like, it actually made a prediction that we were actually able to see, but it's not an explosion in space, because like, it was just space expanding essentially. Like, it was like, I know it sounds like unintuitive, because according to like in our human brains, we understand things being limited, and we understand things having a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's just how we understand things. But it doesn't seem that when it comes to the Big Bang, when it comes to like the expansion of our universe, that just wasn't a thing that happened. That doesn't make sense in that frame. The Big Bang wasn't at one place; it was everywhere. And I know that doesn't
Okay.
sound intuitive. It's just the way that it is.
Okay, so the other thing that I want you to explain. I'm sure you've heard of the sulfur balls that were burned up where Sodom and Gomorrah would have been. How they're 98.2% burned up or whatever. And
Yeah, sure. I think I heard of that.
yeah, when God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, or the fact that there was chariots found at the bottom of the Red Sea, or remnants from the Tower of Babylon,
There weren't.
or the Shroud of Turin. Just so
There weren't.
much.
Right. There were no chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea. Like the archaeologists around there, the Egyptologists and archaeologists from that area, they already disproved that there was no chariots found at the bottom of the Red Sea. That didn't happen.
What is your source? What's your source other than Trust Me Bro?
Archaeologists.
What archaeologists be specific? Like, where do you hear?
Like
this?
you want a name, or you want like the name of the university?
I'm talking article.
Yeah, sure.
What's
You
your
can article.
source? What's your source there?
Yeah, sure. Like
other
you.
than, Trust Me Bro.
Yeah, you can literally look this up. Do you want me to like email you the source?
Do you mind if I interject briefly?
Give me a second. Hold on. You want? Give me a second. Let me see. Let me find that. Okay. Give me a second because I had that. I had it right here. All right. So this was I think a false story says archaeologists unearthed Exodus evidence, and this was from an article written back in 2018, and it says archaeologists did not unearth the beach account of the part of the Red Sea, despite the false claims of many stories reported otherwise. A story was published by a satire site, World News Daily Report, and then picked up by many outlets, scientists led by Professor Abdel the Gulf of Suez. The university does an email to the Associated Press that it has no professor by that name and has not been involved in any excavations there. So the claim that Cairo University found this, Cairo University themselves said that they didn't find this. So the university itself that was involved in this entire thing, they said they didn't find it. Did they leave? Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he left. All right, cool. Sean Prophet, how's it going?
Good, thank you. I wanted to take a different angle of your questions if I could, while disagreeing, saying that they have the potential to be. Well, I disagree with what you said, but let me just prove it here. What I think we're seeing is a verification in history, where the indomitable force of one man and one movement is able to alter history itself. We've seen this in history, whether it's Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad. You could say it's tied to change consciousness itself, not in a metaphysical way, but in a very real way. And I think whether you love or hate President Trump, there's no denying he has changed the world's consciousness. And so I think that we say America was never great. I can say it will be great. And if you say that, why should you believe in a God? You're seeing like things being manifested in front of you. I mean, miraculous things, really. Miraculous. You're living in a time of history.
I'm sorry. Can you back up for 1 second? When you say change the consciousness, what do you mean?
Maybe consciousness isn't the right word. The focus or the direction or the general zeitgeist of the world.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody. Anyone who's important can do that. Martin Luther King did that.
Well, that's true, but I'd say he's a bit more than important. We're talking about great people. There's only a handful of them that ever exist.
Yeah, of course.
And we're seeing this happen right now. And I think when all said and done, when all is said and done, Trump will be seen as among the greatest of them all.
I disagree with that. I don't think he would be seen as the greatest of them all. I mean, he's the most disliked president, like who's alive right now. He's even less liked than Biden.
Well, that's I think debatable. I think that maybe among certain people he's extremely disliked. Among other people, he's incredibly loved.
Right.
He's a divisive figure. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, when all's said and done, he's going to be our Julius Caesar, or Augustus Caesar. Well, you're seeing
you're saying that he's going to add more months to the year.
No, I'm saying he's going to take America to the next level, politically speaking.
How? What?
Transcend democracy to something more permanent.
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
Well, that's debatable.
When you say transcend democracy to something more permanent, what do you mean?
Well, Caesarian order. That is to say, the republic will always exist. The institutions will always be there. People will still use the old names, but in fact, it will have become something much different. A system where Trump and his family in the future, specifically his son Barron, will be the new rulers of America.
Yeah, this is bad. This dictatorship.
I would have to disagree with that.
All right. So we actually America was actually started to not have kings. You want to go back to having a king?
Well, we could, and America had a very sinful background. And as a matter of fact, we have a lot of atoning to do, and Trump will be the chief priest of the atonement.
The chief priest? Like he's going to start a whole new religion?
No. I mean, speaking metaphorically. I mean, what you're going to see here is the realization of all those things we really want: equality, prosperity, harmony. He's going to bring it all.
How? Because he's number one. He's going against all that right now.
They're not
harmony.
right
Like,
now, it's true.
No, he's going against harmony because like that wasn't harmonious. I was very, very extremely offended by that. And it was racist. How is that harmony?
So chaos is fundamental to control. Before it heals, it has to hurt. It's a process. We're going in the right direction.
So saying racist things is good.
No, not at all.
All right. So why is he doing it?
I don't think what he said was racist.
It was.
It wasn't any slander against the Haitian people. He was saying that a group of immigrants had been, doing what he said they were doing.
And they were not. It was a lie. And it was a racist
But it
lie
wasn't
because
racist.
yes, it was because you know why I was racist. I can tell you why I was racist. Did you know that America invaded Haiti in the 1920s?
America has done unspeakable things. I'm
Right, hold on. Like, I'm trying to explain to you why what he said was racist. America invaded Haiti in the 1920s. In the 1920s, the Marines were segregated and they were very, very racist. When they went to Haiti, They accused the Haitians of eating cats and dogs. That's where it comes from. So what he said
Haiti has been
was
invaded many
racist.
times by many people, all illegally.
That's not my point. My point, what he said was racist. It was a lie, and it was racist. It was a lie. That wasn't
If it
happening.
was racist, it was unintentionally racist. He has no
But it was,
racism in his
but it
heart.
was still a lie. Why did he spread a lie? He spread a lie that
Well, I think
made.
he acted on
Now,
good
now,
faith.
now, hold on.
If
Not
there-
only
if
did
he-
not only did he spread a lie, he spread a lie that caused danger to people because the very next day, neo Nazis descended on that town in Springfield in order to murder Haitians. Why would he do that? That's not harmonious.
Oh, I have no evidence of that occurring whatsoever, and I've been following that event pretty closely.
They
So
said it
this is
happened. The people there
conjecture.
said it happened.
You're setting up a straw man argument, sir. I'm simply trying to give you the proposition that what you're seeing right now is more than historic. It's
Historically bad. Like, let me just point something out to you. You said that they're going to be the new Julius and Augustus Caesar. Those were dictators. Why is dictatorship good?
Look at what they did. They kept civilization going for 1,000 years. The world is a jungle, sir. It's not a nice place. It's a dog.
So we need
world.
dictatorship?
If we're going to survive, is life more important than voting, or not? That's the question. Is life more important than voting?
Without voting, you can take away life.
Hold on. What did you say?
Without voting, without a proper voting system, there's ways that you can take away life. You understand that, right?
I'm asking you a simple question. Is your life more important than the franchise, than the voting franchise? Yes or no? I say yes, it is. Human life is infinitely more important than a dead piece of paper 250 years old.
Okay, so human life is more important than actual voting. So does
Yes.
voting affect human life?
Of course it does.
Okay, so what that mean is just as important?
Many things affect human life.
Okay, but like when I'm talking about, like, you want to take away the right to vote.
I never said that.
That's the type of country you want to live in.
No, I never said that. I never
All right,
said
so
that
why
at
did
all.
you?
I never said
So why are you trying to compare a life to voting then?
My question, you were saying democracy, losing democracy would be a bad thing. I'm
Yeah, it
saying
would.
that life is more important than a system of government.
What I can actually agree that your life is more important than a system of government. What I disagree
life.
with, hold on, what I disagree with is that we have to choose between a system of government and our life. We could have our lives and have a good system of government. It's not to be one or the other.
Well, that's a good point. I think under ideal situations, you're right, but the world is a terrible place. Now, I think
It
the
is, but that
point-
doesn't mean
the
we
main
need more
point is-
dictatorship. We don't need more authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is what made the world bad.
Authoritarianism kept the world going when it was in bad positions. It's not good, but it's survivable. It helps you survive. I mean, this is not a choice between like gumdrops and rainbows. This is a dog-eat-dog world, and to survive so that in the future we can enjoy these democratic privileges
here's
again.
what I could agree with. In some cases, yeah, sure, authoritarianism is sometimes what's needed, but we're not at that point in history. We don't need authoritarianism.
I have to disagree with you there.
Okay,
I mean, I
what is
think
it about?
I
What is
think-
it? What is it about America that requires authoritarianism right now?
At this point in time, it's a combination of economic stress plus the fact that the world has reached a point where resource control is what we're after here is the fossil fuels. That's the name of the game. And if we want to require a whole lot of hard work, and I'm using that as euphemism for a very strong government.
All right, but what I'm saying is that doesn't really answer the question. Yeah, sure, we have some economic hardship right now, but that doesn't
That's-
require.
I mean,
Hold on,
this
wait.
is- yeah,
we
sorry.
have some economic hardship right now, but that doesn't require authoritarianism in order to fix it. We need to look at why do we have those type of economic hardships, because it wasn't democracy that gave us that. It was greed.
Well,
it
but it
was
certainly was.
It was hold on. It was greed by corporations and like corporations feeding into a machine of governments and basically
Kleptocracy,
oligarchy,
yes,
and
yeah,
kleptocracy. But that's
yeah.
exactly what we have at the moment. He's not doing anything to change that. He's part of it.
What you're saying is democracy, aka the greed of corporations. That is democracy.
No,
You see,
the
the
democracy is not
corporations
the
thrive
greed
in that environment.
Right, democracy is not the greed of corporations. Corporations thrive in an environment when we don't restrain them, and we could have used
Correct.
democracy to restrain them, but we didn't.
Well, that's true, but I mean, you're making my point for me that our democratic system has led us to this point, and the only way to get out of it is to go to the next level. Is to put our faith in the hands of a man who can defy history itself and rise phoenix-like from the ashes.
But the problem is, like, you're kind of deifying Trump at this point. But the problem is that he's not the one that's going to do that, because he's not against the corporations doing those things. He's partnered with the richest man in the world who would actually who's actually like the number one person in corporate greed. How are they going to fix corporate greed when they represent corporate greed? That doesn't make any sense.
He's tamed the corporations. He's
No,
brought
he
them to
hasn't.
heel.
No, he
Yes,
hasn't.
well, of course. He's in the process of doing it.
No,
I
he's
mean, you
not.
think after government,
The only thing that the corporations have kneeled to is not having diversity. How's that a good thing?
we're in the beginning stages. What he's doing for the government is going to come next in the private sector and indeed in our lives. This is when some people say that Trump is Confederate, they're wrong. Confederacy is all about local control. This is a centralization of power. a very strong centralization of power.
Which is a bad thing. Every single time that's happened in history, bad things happened.
That isn't true, sir. That isn't true.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
times when well, take a look at Sumeria. I mean, we had centralization of power and we got civilization out of that. That can't be a bad thing.
No, I understand that. There are times when centralization of power is necessary. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of third world countries right now where they could use centralization of power.
Amen.
I'm talking about in our first world country, we don't need that. There's nothing about America right now that needs centralization of power. Nothing.
So
What should be centralized is centralized with the people, not with a strong man.
Fair enough, sir. But rather than arguing that point, which I could, let me give you a different perspective. History demands it. If you look at history, these periods are cyclical. We are now entering a period, and it sucks to say this. I wish it wasn't so. Now we're entering a dark period in history where there's going to be combat, there's going to be like competition, and the only way to survive it is to go down this road. And Trump sees it. He sees things with crystal clarity. Point. I think in the future, when we look back at this, we will have to acknowledge he is the greatest political genius in the history of the world. And I mean that without any
No,
hyperbole.
he's not. He doesn't know what he's
Without any
doing.
hyperbole.
Bro, he has no idea what he's doing.
We are more.
He's never failed.
Yeah,
He's more
we're-
powerful now than he ever was.
Yeah, which is a bad thing because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, bro. He really thinks a president can do whatever he wants, and he can't.
Well, what he's doing, he's pushing the envelope to make that a reality.
correct, and that's not okay.
That's a bad thing, my friend.
That's a
That
bad
is
Well,
a
we have
bad
to
thing.
disagree about that, sir. But I really appreciate your live, and I appreciate any intellectual discussion. So I know you're probably going to boot me here in a moment, but I just wanted to say thank you for your intellectual chops. There's nothing more important than intellectual conversation, and that's the God honest truth. Have a great night, okay?
Trump, I didn't want him to go. I really wanted to ask him. Oh God, he went. I wanted to ask him questions.
Yeah, I know you wanted to ask him. Hold on, I got some more people coming up. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all. We got 681 likes, 132 people in here. I know you all don't agree with me. It can't be all y'all agree with me. So let's go ahead and get these likes up. Let's go ahead and get these likes up, get more people in here, get more debates going. Who we have here? We have Junaku and User. It seems like you two agree with me, right?
Yes, I do, and that's kind of why I chimed in because it was getting a little heated listening to what he had to say. You know,
it was getting a little crazy. I'm gonna invite one more person up, see if they agree or disagree. Wiki, are you there?
Whiskey is the film. Hey, I wanted to say, in this day and age, if you believe that politicians are there for you, then you are the problem. And I digress.
All right, appreciate you, Whiskey.
Thank you.
I also really wanted to make some correction with Trump, and I'm going to go down. Trump fit when he, one thing is we operate in Western paradigm, and the way most Western people think, especially those who are really based in, this white supremacist system, is everybody operate the way they used to operate, which is it's 10,000% far from the truth. Also, if you think of ex-Playboy, who used to go and grab me by the is the greatest leader in the world. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
You got problems.
Are you in for a long ride? Okay? Are you in for the guy don't even have the proper integrity, moral to even compose himself. Even when he speaks, he doesn't speak like somebody who has common sense. But here we are. And the fact that this dude really thought that he had an intellectual debate or intellectual conversation with you was very wild. But anyways, you Trump still keep doing your thing. I'm just watching while you guys are giving him the chance to destroy the United States of America. I'm just sitting back and just watching it and thinking, what's my next move? Okay? Because when that's the saying. He came for when he first came for the Jews. When he first I said nothing. When he came for I said nothing. Eventually there was nobody left, and he came for me. Okay?
Exactly.
We ready to come for you? You should did. Trump is really an oligarchy. He's not thinking about you. He don't care for you. He is going to give you, at least other politicians give you breadcrumbs. He's not even giving you breadcrumbs. He's literally giving you spackle of breadcrumbs. That's what he's giving you. So if you really think that he is for you, keep going. I'm just going to watch and let the dominance effect happen.
Yeah, absolutely right. We are talking about Western paradigms a lot, so that's one thing to realize. Okay, Linda, you there? Oh, she's teacupped. Deos, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Hey man,
right.
I'm sorry, I gotta say you go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yeah, I'm over 18. Let me see. Do I disagree? America was never great. Being woke is good. Reparations for Black America. Why should I believe in the God? Faith. No, I think everything's on point.
All right, cool. Yeah. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What did you want to say?
I just wanted to say, it's hard for me to put it in words, but long story short, when people talk, those people that gravitate towards them, 9 times out of 10 are on the same level of, how can I say, education with them, if that makes sense. So if you look at the people that are Trump supporters, oh, well, now I ain't saying all of them because they got some Trump supporters are pretty smart, but Trump ain't pretty smart, FYI. So a lot of people that listen to his rhetoric and how he says things is because they can relate to how he's saying it because that's their level of thinking. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand exactly what you're saying.
That's all. And the other guy that was up on here, he kind of said something about that or whatever. So I kind of just want to, put my little spin on it real quick. But I didn't want to hold you live up in there. But I appreciate what you're doing up on here, and I'm continue tapping and get you some likes up on there.
Got you, man. I appreciate you.
All right, no doubt. You have a safe one.
You as well. Appreciate you.
Hey, why were you chasing her?
Hey, Poet.
Athena?
Poet, you're on the live.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
Sorry.
All right. Are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yes, I'm over 18. I'm 36. I'm sorry. My mom's cat was chasing my cat and attacked her.
I know how that goes. All right. So you disagree
Sorry
with anything
about
on the
that.
board? No, I grew with cats, so I know
No,
exactly.
I just wanted to add. People were talking about Western journalism, and the lady was saying about the poem. I forget what the name of the poem is, but everybody knows it. She referenced the poem about first they came for these people, and next they came for this group, next they came for this group, and then there was nobody here to speak for me. I'm a disabled person and a disability activist. I'm also in school to become a therapist. I'm finishing my degree.
Same.
What is happening right now, both in the courts and with him wanting to get rid of the Department of Education, will directly affect not only, obviously, everyone, especially with the Department of Education if they get what they want, but especially which is a specialty hospital for children with developmental disabilities like Riley, but it's for kids with developmental disabilities versus just terminal illnesses. And that hospital is supported by charitable donations. It's not supported by the government, but the research that they do there, much like St. Jude, furthers treatment for things like cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, all those things that are long-term chronic disabilities that children are born with. And without that research, a lot of people are stuck. We are just now finding out what cerebral palsy, my disability, does to adults, because 30 years ago, nobody bothered to look beyond children. We are just now in the last 10 or 15 years figuring that out. So, as somebody who's getting ready to be a clinician, I'm concerned not only about my graduate school coming up, but also about, when you graduate from graduate school, you have to have a research placement. Am I going to have a research placement if there's I'm a disabled queer woman? Am I going to have a research placement? Is there going to be something like that for me? 26% of the country is disabled. Right now, 17 states are trying to get rid of Section 504, which is the backbone of the ADA. We can do something about that. We can get hold of our attorney generals and a hold of our governors and a hold of our politicians and let them know that they need to drop this lawsuit because it's going to impact the access that disabled children have to physical therapy in school and all kinds of other services in school, and also other things related to the disability community in public.
Gotcha. Can you give me 1 second, Poet? Christopher, you there?
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
I am over 18, and do I disagree? I just kind of wanted to have conversations about these topics. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if I disagree per se, but
all right, sure, not a problem. Give me 1 second because, of course, there's always racists in my comments that I have to block. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Not a problem.
It's not fair that, you get my point.
Not a problem. All right, so, Poet, I agree with everything you said, but I'm just going to go ahead and talk to Christopher real quick. But I appreciate you being up here, all right?
Okay.
We definitely have to watch. We definitely have to watch out for our disabled brothers and sisters out there because, a lot of these policies affect them as well. So, Christopher, what did you want to talk about?
So it says, DEM socialism is greater than capitalism.
Yeah, democratic socialism is better than capitalism.
Democratic socialism. Okay, gotcha. I kind of thought that that's what you meant, but I wasn't trying to assume.
No, not a problem.
And how do you see it that way?
The reason I see it that way is because definitely, I mean, at the moment, capitalism has pretty much outlived its usefulness. We're basically in late stage capitalism where it's just basically a system of we're gonna have and have nots. The corporations are squeezing as much profit as they can, and if you live in a system where the only thing you go for is profit, then the needs of the people are going to get neglected. And democratic socialism, which is achieving socialism in a democratic process and a democratic way, would be better for us because like it would have more concern towards the people and have more concern towards the workers and their working environment rather than just making profit.
So does that make all industry become government-owned industry?
Not necessarily, no. A lot of
we still need a GDP, right?
Yeah, of course. What a lot of socialism would basically just be like stuff like workplace democracy, nationalized healthcare, nationalized things like energy, utilities, probably guaranteed housing, stuff like that.
You know, I certainly I wish I could figure out a way to make it so that everybody had a roof over their head, you know, no food insecurity, and healthcare. And like those three things I find to be extremely important for any human, right? Mm-hmm. And being amongst the top 10 wealthiest countries in the world, and I might be overstating our status, but in the United States, but I think we're in the top 10 still. We should be able to afford that for our people, right?
Yeah. Like this was pointed out like back in the early 2000s. We're actually paying for universal health care. We're just not getting it.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, there's a universal healthcare system in place right now. Medicare. You get it when you're 65.
Right. That was Obamacare, right? That provide for everybody?
No, it's about Medicare.
Oh, Medicare paid for. Oh, yeah, Medicare pays for it. Well, you know, if you can't afford it, then I guess Medicare pays for it. Right? And if you have insurance, then Medicare pays for it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just that you can't get Medicare until you're 65. So we're actually paying for a universal system.
So Medicaid.
Exactly, and Medicaid. We just can't access it. You know, everybody pays into Medicare. Everybody pays into Medicaid. The universal systems. We just can't access it for some reason or another.
Huh.
Yeah,
and I don't know about being woke is good because everybody I've run into that labels themselves woke is annoying as fuck. Excuse my bad language.
Not a problem. This is like it is an issue of language. Because like and another language that you're using, I don't care about that. I'm military. Like you can cuss all you want, but like
right.
When I'm talking about,
I'll try not to. I'm working on it. It's a bad habit.
Yeah, I got you. But when I say an issue of language, one thing I've always said is that people can speak the same. People can speak the same words, but that doesn't mean they're speaking the same language. You see what I mean? Everything is like very, very contextual, and language can be ambiguous. Woke came from African American vernacular English, basically. It was a term meant for being aware of systems of racial and social injustice. That's all it meant. You know what I'm saying? So now that these white college kids started going to school and started being on TikTok and started hearing black people talk about staying woke and being woke and, you know, making fun of people who are like, you know, super woke, stuff like that. We made fun of them in our community. All of a sudden they took on that vernacular, and just like the people in our community, they were annoying as fuck with it. And then white conservatives heard it, and all of a sudden woke is a bad thing. You see what I'm saying? So that's how all that happened. But woke was always just supposed to mean someone who's just aware of racial and social injustice.
No, awareness
is
great. Like,
exactly.
I think being aware and like, you know, that whole concept of being awakened from your nightmare, you know, whatever have you mind you.
Yeah, exactly. That's all woke really means, or always supposed to mean. And then, you know, like conservatives saw a bunch of
version of it, but like what it became kind of like I don't know.
No, that's still what it is. That's all still what it is. Like when, like for example, I know that's what it is because the people who use woke as a pejorative now, they don't really like definitions have utility. And if you ask anybody who uses woke as a pejorative, not only do they not know what it means, they use it for anything. Like, for example, the new Captain America movie. Like the moment that Sam Wilson became the new Captain America, which is in the comic books, and now they're making a movie about it. They called it woke. Like this is in the comic books. How was this have anything to do with being woke or wokeness? The only reason that they said that is because he's black. You know what I'm saying? And they do that for anything. Like if a TV show has a black character, a homosexual character, it's woke. It doesn't mean anything to them anymore. It's just whatever they don't like. It has no utility. So wokeness still means what I say it means. For them, it just means anything I don't like. Like that's all the utility it has.
So I'm what, as you can see in my picture, I'm what people would consider a ginger, right? A redheaded individual, fair skin. What do you think separates me from you? I mean, other than the tonality of our skin, the melanin in our skin.
On a very, very base level, nothing. But when it
Right.
comes to the American society, you're actually a lot more trusted than I am, just socially.
By just the general masses.
By the general masses, yeah. And this is actually has been studied. There actually are studies that show this, that black people are seen as not only older but also stronger, especially black teenagers.
Well, that's certainly fucked, and I definitely would I would have to blame that on movies, pop culture, and somewhat of what some of the things that are portrayed and the stereotypes that are portrayed, and the negative stereotypes that seem to almost kind of snowball themselves with a certain type of people with dark skin. Like I find that to be there's some really bad white people in this world.
Yeah, there's some very black people. Yeah, I mean, it's just that I think what has happened is, and this was actually in some research as well. They said that
Certainly
racism,
happened to Italian Americans as well.
Yeah, of course. One of the I saw this research before as well. It said that the main driver of racism in America is not even hatred against black people, it's fear. You know what I mean? And I think that fear, just like how you said, was placed by media and just stereotypes essentially, of black people just being stronger or being more aggressive. You know what I mean? Yeah, so the racism against us is not even based on people hating us. Like I've always said too, I truly believe the majority of white folks don't actually hate us. A lot of it is based on fear.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it is based on fear, and I mean, ultimately, I not that I can speak for all white people, right? Because that would just be foolish. But I don't think there's a hatred amongst our two skin colors. I hope not, at least. I very much hope not.
Gotcha. Can you give me 1 second?
Sure,
Hey,
yeah.
without justice, I do see you dim socialism is reformist. I don't think it's counter-revolutionary though, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are not where you're at, bro. They don't understand, a lot of Marxist theory. They don't understand it. They don't understand anarchism. You know what I mean? Anarchism is not understood by the majority of people. So in order to get them to understand, you need to get them here first. We're always trying to get them to actually understand what I mean when I say socialist, more socialist reformation in our country. You just can't hit them with anarchism because they're not going to understand what you mean by that. You feel me? But I'm gonna bring you up without justice in a few minutes. My bad, Christopher. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's cool. And certainly that anarchism has definitely got a bad rap in terms of just people's fear, from people's fear. And I mean, I don't know.
I got you. No, I feel you. Was there anything else that you had wanted to talk to me about, or
well, and I'm assuming BLK meaning black
Yes.
Americans, reparations for black Americans. So, what is your viewpoint on that? And I mean, I guess you would have to somehow prove lineage because you haven't been a slave, right? I mean, other than the same way that I've been an indentured servant as a person who's been employed.
Right. Gotcha. And give me a second. Hey, Straight Talk, I do see you there. Give me a few more minutes. All right, Straight Talk.
You're good.
All right. So, yeah, you would have to prove your lineage to the African slaves in the United States, of course. So that would be African Americans. What I mean by reparations is that when we see all the history that this country, this society has done to African Americans, we know that it held that back African Americans economically, especially socially and politically. The government has damaged African Americans, and every single time the government has done something wrong, Americans, us as a society, have pushed them to fix it. We've done that all the time, so we know what what the United States has done to African Americans. So my question is always, if we know what they've done, why shouldn't they fix it? You know what I mean? So and if we say, yeah, they should fix it, That's what reparations is. You see what I'm saying? So that'd be number one thing. But the number two thing that I would say is that reparations would actually be an advantage to everyone, because the United States spends most of its budget, I think a quarter of it, servicing poverty. And which group has more like concentrated poverty besides Native Americans? It's black people. It's African Americans. We have the
Yeah, I
most.
mean, like ultimately, we need to definitely take care of Native Americans a lot, first, most and foremost, because like the actions of America or America's birth time was reprehensible, really.
Exactly.
You know, and slavery is reprehensible, and I you know, I'm proud to say that my ancestors were, you know, involved in the fight to stop it. You know, but you know, at the same time,
and the thing is, when it comes to
like what like I don't feel like that. I think we just need to move on from that.
right,
The
thing is why we can't move on from that is because the damage is lasting. Because reparations won't only be about slavery; it'll also be about the effects of slavery as well. Things like black codes, Jim Crow, redlining, especially. Like all of those affected African Americans all the way into this day. And like you can read any paper that will tell you that into redlining, it will show you that it still affects African Americans to this day. The majority of black schools and redlining, like for example, redlining wasn't only black people couldn't own a home. Redlining was that grocery stores, banks, schools, etc. were in those areas were not funded properly. So those people the people who grew up in those areas were behind white people all this time, and those people like are still alive. They're the grandfathers or even the fathers of the African Americans who live today. You see what I'm saying? So all that has affected them.
I do.
Like it affected health, it affected
My
education.
parents they went into all black schools and taught at all black schools, and then you know, also anyways, so I get it, like you know, and you know, I ultimately I mean I don't know are probably the wisest words ever by mouth, but it's been a nice time having a conversation. I'll take a back seat and let you talk to somebody else.
Not a problem, Christopher. I appreciate you being up here. Alrighty, straight talk. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I invited Joe because there was something that you said that was interesting, but I forgot what it was. Do you remember?
Hey, that is not a problem. Really, what you kill innovation. I have lived in socialist countries, spent a great deal of time. And I'll give you a perfect example. You kill innovation. The United States is the only country that can land a rocket back in its own gantry that took off from. China can't do it. Italy can't do it. Russia can't do it. None of it. And it would take them 100,000 years to be able to do that. And the reason that we are able to do it is because we innovate. The United States of America, with its capitalist, economic system, we reward people that come up with innovation. So the moment that you kill or that you go to a socialist type government where people who do not deserve a piece of the pie start getting a piece of that pie, that's when you have a serious issue and you stop innovating. That goes for medicine, that goes for technology, that goes for any of those things. All of the technology that makes spacefaring countries right now came from the United States of America, a capitalist country.
Okay. Would you let me ask you this question.
Uh-huh.
Do you think GPS was innovative?
GPS?
Mm-hmm.
The global positioning system?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't made for profit.
No, but it was made as a direct result of a need. It filled a need. And you're not going to suggest that we're not profiting from GPS right now.
Right, hold on. It filled the need to get to the moon. We didn't get to the moon for profit. We got to the moon to have a dick measuring contest with the USSR.
No, we did that to stifle their government, to get them into an arms race or a space race.
Yeah,
we stifled their economy, and it worked brilliantly.
So a dick measuring contest.
Well, you can call it whatever you want, but if instead of shooting you with bullets and bombs, if I engage you in an economic war and I put your people in a place where they cannot commit war, then I think it was money well spent. Plus, we landed first on the moon.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that a lot of the innovations that came out of the space program, including what we're doing now, internet and GPS, was not done for out of the name of profit for money, because they didn't make any money out of that. It just was innovative.
No, that's not true. It was an investment, government investment first. That's true. But since then, are you telling me you don't have a GPS system and a map system?
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying that people didn't make profit from GPS. What I'm saying is a lot of innovations that came out of the space program, including what we're doing now, wasn't made in the name of profit.
That's true. I mean, we've had vaccines, even the polio vaccine. Didn't make a dime on the polio
it wasn't made in profit. So when you say that if you don't have a lot of profit, you kill innovation, that's not exactly true. People still innovate because the mother of innovation.
No.
Wait, hold on. What I'm saying is that the mother of innovation is necessity, not money.
Correct. But where did that money come from? It came from the private sector investments and taxes collected by our government.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that like the investment didn't come from the private sector, or is not investment, is not research and development. All that happens. What I'm saying is that innovation does not necessarily have to come from profit, because like
name
when it
an
comes
invention. Name an invention that's come out of China, or name an invention in the last 2,000 years that's come out of the Soviet Union, former Soviet Union, Russia.
Satellites.
Say that again.
Satellites.
No.
Yeah, satellites.
What do you mean
Sputnik.
satellites?
Sputnik.
Okay. Yes, but they see. Yes, you're right. You can have a comment that goes talk. Have you seen Sputnik? You can see Sputnik.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see the version of Sputnik. Are you going to say that Starlink, which is definitely tied to a capitalist government, the United States of America?
Oh no, it's better. It's better. Yeah, it's gotten better. What I'm saying is that if we look at the past, like a few, like you said 2,000. If we go back 2,000 years, the ancient Chinese invented the compass. You know what I mean? So it's like we're not gonna go back 2,000 years. But if we go back in the past couple of years, like past 10 years, I'm not gonna deny that a lot of innovation came out of the United States. I'm not gonna deny that, because we are the wealthiest country in the world. So a lot of research is gonna come from that. What I'm saying is that it's not necessary to have profit in order to innovate. And not only that, I'm not aiming to not have profit at all. That's not what I'm aiming for. What I'm aiming for is that, which is what the anarchist in the comments says, like it's too reformist. What I'm aiming for is that the profit that we make doesn't just go back into the pockets of the corporations or the millionaires or do nothing with it. It gets reinvested back into the people or into the workers, because right now that largely doesn't happen.
Well, wait a minute. If I invest, and I have a podcast where we talk about e-commerce and building your own business.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I invest that business, you're saying that I owe people who are unrelated to that business a share of what I make. And I would argue with that. I don't think
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. Because like, if you look at the corporations that are there right now, like a lot of the people who create those corporations are not even alive anymore. Like Ford is dead. Ford died years ago.
Well,
You know
they
what I
have
mean?
people that are
So
administering those corporations,
right.
and
There are people
invested
that
in those corporations.
exactly.
Those investments
Right. I understand
get
that.
passed down.
Right. I understand that. What I'm saying is that trickle down doesn't really happen. You see what I'm saying? A lot of it goes back into their pockets. What I'm saying is that, for example, let me give a perfect example. Let's look at the company Nestle. Right. Nestle is probably one of the biggest owners of private water there is out there. Nestle has done some very, very evil things in the third world, right? Like, for example, when they were trying to sell baby formula, they actually poisoned the wells and poisoned other formula in order for the mothers there to purchase their formula. And a lot of
Do you blame
babies.
that on capitalism, or do you blame that on shitty company policy?
I blame that on capitalism, because it was in the pursuit of profit. They knew that that those mothers in those third world countries buying the other products was a danger to their profit, so they poisoned the well in order to get more profit for them. It was
Okay,
in the
well,
pursuit
let
of
me ask you
profit.
this. You have a Rockefeller Foundation, right? You have a Gates Foundation, does good all over the world. And because of his profits, because of Microsoft's vast profits, Elon Musk has the Musk Foundation. Because of his, mate and Warren Buffett, because of their enormous amount of profits, we have trillions of dollars that play around the world that would not be there if they had not reinvested those profits back into exactly what it is you're doing. That came from a capitalist society, being able to take your work and be able to put it on the market and get the maximum amount of return for your efforts.
No, here's the thing. Capitalism is great at production. Like I'm not lying that. I don't disagree with that at all. Even Marx said that. Marx said that capitalism is great at production. He even said that's good. That is good at production, and that's good at being able to generate wealth. You know what I mean? Even Marx gave capitalism props for doing that. What the issue is that, does that wealth actually contribute to the workers and the society? For example, those trillions of dollars that you said that is all around the world right now. Like Elon Musk right now is half a trillionaire. He's going to be a trillionaire in the next 20 years. You know what I mean? So it's going to happen. But with all that wealth, we still have over 1 million people who are homeless here. He can fix it at a drop of a hat and simply doesn't. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and not only that, if all the billionaires would come together and just fix that issue, that would be better for them. You see what I'm saying?
Why would they do that?
Because it's better for them.
How? How
If
would
you fix,
you having how would you having a Lexus, or you having a home, or you having, what benefit to those people is that?
okay, the benefit to people is that you have people, like, because homelessness causes crime, homelessness causes disease,
You
homelessness
think that
causes
Elon
mental
Musk
health.
is anywhere near crime when he's got
I know.
security?
Hold on. I know Elon Musk himself is not near crime. I understand that. The problem is that everyone else is. You see what I'm saying? Wait. What I'm saying is that it's better for society if there is no homelessness, right?
And you think that would stop crime? That if everybody had a home, a place where they could go, roof over their head, that crime would stop? Because I know that there are a lot of criminals that do have roofs over their heads.
And are still criminals, of course.
White-collar crime.
Right,
You have people that are stealing.
I'm not saying that crime will completely stop, but the majority of crime are poverty crimes: robbery, burglary, drug dealing, drug addiction, even arson. You know what I mean? Even rape is tied to poverty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it are poverty crimes. So if we fix the issue of poverty, a lot of stuff won't exist. Of course, there are people who rape. There will still be people who are just, insane. There will still be people out there who said, I just don't like this person, pick up a pew and take them out. That will still happen. But by and large, it would be a lot less than what we're seeing today.
Well, look, I mean, there are plenty of countries that have very low loneliness. And look, I'll use the United States as an example. We have many cities that had projects. The United States government built projects all throughout this country. Okay, very quickly, because there was no ownership and no pride of ownership. Very quickly, those turned into high crime. I mean, you want to talk about concentrated crime and victimization? That's where you went. I mean, it was just.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Straight Talk. Can you give me 1 second? Hey, Jimmy, you there? Was that Jenny or Johnny?
Yeah, I'm sorry, boss. It's Johnny. Yeah.
No problem. No, I'm all good. You rating? You disagree with anything, or you want to talk to Straight Talk?
Yeah, I'm 27. My bad. Yeah, I was listening to Straight Talk. If you don't mind me just saying real quick, or asking. So Straight Talk, I hear like what you're saying as far as like trying to. Do you feel like capitalism is the perfect form? Like the capitalism in America is the perfect form to have the society right now?
Well, let's be very clear. Humans are fails. Okay, they're not good. Capitalism is what lifted the world out of poverty. It wasn't socialism that did that. It wasn't communism that did that. Capitalism lifted the world to places there was poverty. Capitalism is what did that.
American slavery did as well. That was free labor.
Gotcha. And there's good slavery, and there is slavery today. There is slavery all over the world.
You can't compare that to American slavery when you're bringing up the fact that American capitalism is what shifted the world into what it is now.
There are places that had millions, 10 times more slaves
Are
than the United States did.
Are those places that had more slaves more successful than America is today?
No.
So then at that point, that doesn't matter. We're talking about the country.
No, it does matter. It just doesn't go along with what you were saying.
Everybody pause. I apologize. Everybody pause. I think Johnny had something to say. Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, so like you're bringing it up, but at the end of the day, those countries are not as powerful as America is today. So we're talking about America. Not only that, I'm just curious. Do you see capitalism as being wrong? So for example, I'm assuming you went to school in the American school system.
I went to school until high school, and then I went to college. I went to college in Germany.
Do you think that the American school system teaches you to be self-sufficient, or do they teach you how to be a worker?
Well, when I went to school, I'm 58 years old. So when I went to school, it was way different than it is now. So we actually learned American history there.
No. When I say self-sufficient, and you just answer straight up, did America teach you to be self-sufficient? So did America teach you how to start your own fires, how to build your own shelters, how to hunt for your own food, how to purify your own water, how to be self-sufficient, how to rely on the government for everything you need as far as basic necessities? Sir, please answer the question.
Can I answer your question?
I'm just saying you can straight. If you start okay.
To answer your question, I drove to school, high school. When I drove to high school, I had 2 weapons in my car. I had a 410 shotgun, and I had a 22 pistol under my seat. I went hunting every day after high school during deer season. Every day. I went to school at different time as you.
So did your school, so going back to my question, if you don't mind answering yes or no, did you went to school in America, did they teach you to be self-sufficient, start showing you how to care about water, start your own fire, build your own shelter, and hunt for your own food? Or did they teach you how to work in order to make money to get those basic necessities?
Well, yeah, probably the latter. We didn't have wilderness survival in our
school. That's not wilderness survival, that's just survival. At the end of the day, if you didn't live in a country where you were forced to work, I mean, you should have to work for your own living, absolutely. But basic necessities, where there's people walking around, like Jose said, $500 billion. $500 billion. Now, there's nothing wrong. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with going above and beyond. You know, if you want to work to achieve more than just the basic necessities, that's fine. But living in a country where you're saying there are going to be homeless people, you can plant an apple tree on any plant of grass. It would be fairly easy. But instead, they choose to let you be homeless because at that point, that pushes capitalism and keeps the rich. They want these. Let's just make them keep on coming back, so they got to keep buying medicine.
Well, look, we're not too far away on the way we think. I personally believe if you want anything, you incentivize it. You will get more of it. If I want you to get off your ass and go to work and to earn money and own your own business, there should be incentives above and beyond what the incentives of you sitting on the couch is. You see what I'm saying?
No, so that's
I agree. I agree that there should be incentives, but the incentive shouldn't be I worked a shitty job or I starved to death.
No, listen, I give free education for free every single week, another lesson on how you can have an e-commerce business or have a business, period. I do that myself. I have 13 businesses online where for free I teach people exactly how to run businesses, start businesses, and run businesses.
Here's the problem.
And start those businesses without a dime in their pocket, using their talents to earn the money to start the business.
I got you. Here's the problem, though, Straight Talk. Not everyone has an entrepreneurial mindset or can start a business, and not everybody should. We can't have a nation of 300 million business owners. That's just
well, we didn't used to have that.
No, we didn't. We never had that. We never had that. Hell,
yes, we
never
did.
had that.
Yes, we did.
Are you telling me back in the 60s every single person was
No. Look, this country's been around for a lot longer than that. And when this country was founded, let me say something. When this country was founded, 90% of the population worked for themselves on a family farm. 10% worked for others. In 1980,
anymore, though, bro.
You're right. In 1980, those two numbers flipped, and 90% of the population worked for other people, and 10% had their own business, and that is what needs to change.
So, Straight Talk, can I ask you a question? In a capitalist society, can everybody be rich?
Well, you are going to have people that are better off than
others.
No,
I mean, just a straight answer question. If you don't mind, in a capitalist society, can everybody be rich?
The straight answer to that question is yes. No. You are going to have people that do better than others.
No. Listen, because like you're not trying to answer the question straight up. Like if you feel like it's a no, just be real with yourself. In a capitalist society, can everybody be rich?
Well, no. But in a communist,
that's your point. You're trying to sit here and defend America, the great land of opportunity.
Let me say this
real quick. You want to defend America as the great land of opportunity. Everybody can't be rich because as soon as everybody is rich, nobody's going to work the jobs that make rich people rich.
All right.
Nobody's gonna work at the McDonald's Burger
Let me
King.
ask you a
Nobody's gonna work
question.
at your Dollar General.
Johnny, let me ask you a question.
Hey, can I put something just really quickly, all right? The ideal quote unquote socialist society is a society where we have nationwide workplace democracy, nationalization of things like energy and utilities, and guaranteed homes and things like that. Why do you think
Example of that? Give me a country that's worked at.
that's worked?
Yeah, where that? Give me your example of, because my point to him would be, I would much rather take my chances in a capitalist society than I would in a communist society or in a socialist society.
The country where that's worked at is China and largely the Scandinavian countries.
It
I'm not
doesn't
sure
work
if they
in
have.
China.
Yes.
How would you be? You're telling me that having billions of people that are working for less than slave wages, barely making a living at all, and having a very small, less than 10,000 people in the top of government, they're the ones that are wealthy. So you're telling me that somehow that's preferable to you having the opportunity to earn your way in this country.
Well, I'm not saying let's work for slave wages. Right now, we're working for slave wages. Over a third of people in this country are living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I just the way it is
The
in this
average
country.
wage in China is $3 a month.
No, it's not.
I mean, I'm being a little bit off, but let's take a look at that. I mean, that's what we got Google for.
What I'm saying is that when you ask where does this work, it does work in the Scandinavian countries. All right,
Yeah, but they have a sixth of our population.
I understand. Hold on, I understand that. But what I'm talking about is when we have large workplace democracy and nationalization of energy and utilities and guaranteed homes and free education. Why do you think those are a bad thing? Why can't we have those things and still have capitalism and corporations and people making profit and all that? Why can't we have both?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Okay, so in an ideal society, right? And I'm not talking about free money. In an ideal socialist society, as far as we can go, in an ideal socialist society right now, what I would like to see is large workplace democracy, nationalization of energy resources, guaranteed homes, and free education up to a bachelor's. Why would those be a bad thing in your opinion?
Who's going to pay for those?
Through taxes.
So you want to tax us? We're already taxed a little over 30%. You'd like to raise our taxes enough that it would pay for you to have a home.
You don't have to raise taxes.
What kind of home are we talking about?
You don't have to raise taxes. You don't have to raise taxes. You know how much?
How would we do it, Jimmy?
Do you know how much money we spend on the U.S. military every year?
And so you don't think that that's a good investment? You think that everybody loves the U.S. They wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't. I spent 8 years in the Army, buddy. You don't think that we people would love to have what we have?
In the Air Force. I spent 6 in the
You
Air
always
Force.
say, what does your military experience have to do anything? It doesn't make you more intelligent on these aspects.
Well, I will tell you because I've been to war. I've been to places where
not saying that everybody in the military is polarized to have American propaganda in them, but a lot of your perspectives are going to be based on American propaganda.
Yeah, and I spent 6 years in the Air Force, and let me tell you, we waste a lot of money. There's a lot of money that doesn't go anywhere.
Listen, we don't disagree on the waste that goes on, but I'm going to
So
tell
why
you
are you
something.
saying that money is needed? It can be dispersed to other places, like we just said. Why not pay for students to get education or allow people to get their education for free up to a bachelor's? Why not?
All right, so straight talk. Like, here's the thing, because the way that you're thinking about what I'm talking about, you're thinking I'm talking about Robin Hood socialism, which isn't actually a thing. Robin Hood socialism doesn't exist. It isn't take from you to give me a benefit. All right, it's all of us contribute to this one thing, and we all benefit. Meaning that if I get universal health care, you also get universal health care. If I have guaranteed housing, you also have guaranteed housing. It's not take from you, from me to have something. It's we all put into this thing for common society, and we all benefit. Not just you giving it to me. You benefit as well. You know what I'm saying? I get universal health care. You get universal health care. Johnny gets it. Bree gets it. We all get it. You know what I'm saying? If I work for a large corporation of over 10,000 employees, I have workplace democracy. Meaning I can choose my manager. I can choose where the profit goes for the company. And if you're a CEO of that company, you talk to a representative of the workers and say, hey, how are the workers doing? What are the workers doing in this place? And they say, oh, the workers would like to have this. All right, let's talk about it. Why is that a problem?
I'll tell you why. Because I pay for me and my family to have a level of health care that I don't wish to provide to anyone outside of my family. I go to the doctors that I want to see. I go to the hospitals when I'm sick or when my wife is ill. I use the sweat of my brow to pay for me and mine. I don't see the need for me to contribute to a system outside of my family.
I'm sorry to interrupt. And under my system, you would still have that.
No, you wouldn't.
You would have healthcare. Just hold on. Just because. Wait,
you
hold
would
on.
have healthcare, but you damn sure wouldn't have the doctors and the tests. Even the
Yeah, you
Canadian,
would.
the closest.
Yeah, you would. Hold on. Straight talk. You know who's judged as the best healthcare system in the entire world right now?
Who?
France. You know what they have?
I know what their tax rate is.
Yeah, they have
You know
universal
how
healthcare.
much they pay in taxes.
All right. Hold on. So let me get this straight. Because me in my worldview, right? If taxes were at, let's say 50%, let's say taxes were at 45-50%, but there was no homelessness, everybody was relatively healthy, all the kids got educated, and I wouldn't starve or go homeless because I lost my job. You're thinking that this is a bad society to live in?
Hold on. Let me get this straight. You want me to give you, or the government,
It's not just me. It's not just you. Hold on, straight talk. Listen. It's not just you giving it to me. We're all putting this in, and we all benefit from that.
We're going to put it all in a pot. I'm going to put 50% of what I generate in a pot, and then you're going to put your 50%, and Mary Lou over here is going to put her little 50%. You realize there are people. Look at Elon Musk. Should he put 50% in?
Hell yeah.
You got to be high.
Why not?
Are you serious?
If he did,
a million times more. Why should he pay more?
Why
than
does
what
he
you
need all
would
that
pay?
money? Why does he need all that money?
Hold on, before I ask that, John, let me ask you this question: is homelessness bad?
It depends.
It depends. All right, bro. Nah, bro. You ain't serious. You ain't serious. I'm sorry. You ain't serious. Homelessness. It depends if homelessness is bad. Seriously. I'm sorry, John.
I look, he was like, should I stay here? I feel like you was already kind of like beating the dead horse. I feel like you both picked up the stick and started beating the dead horse at this point.
No, that's ridiculous. I'm actually this homeless is bad.
Yeah, it depends.
Oh, bad, it depends. All right, we have focus on empowerment and Nikki. Oh wait, focus left. I'll bring Nikki up real quick. John, you go ahead and stand up because I know you want to discuss more. Hey, Bree, are you still there?
Yeah, I just didn't say anything the last time because you were killing him, so I didn't want to jump in.
Oh, you agree? I'm sorry, I didn't tie you in. I'm sorry, I didn't tie you in. How about you, Nikki?
No, I was just gonna comment on him before you left it.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, I didn't tie you guys in. I'm sorry, I didn't tie you guys in because I can't over it. But you guys can go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say there's a lot of people that really have that mentality that when you made a very good point about it's not take from them to give or take from you to give to them. It's everybody's thing. They don't see that for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, every time I've heard social describe this way, I'm like, y'all thinking about Robin Hood socialism? That's not how that's gonna work. And secondly, it's not like you can't have profit anymore. It's not profit. It's gonna benefit more of the people. It seems like people don't get it.
I get confused about that too, because it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, you can have both. You just figure out what works and don't rely on the same system to, you know what I'm saying, work forever. I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's why I was kind of talking about the school system, because it's like, if you know how to just, you want to provide yourself with your own basic needs, and then, hey, you want to go out and get a job so that you can, go buy your flat screen TV or a nice fancy car, there's nobody stopping you from doing that. But at the end of the day, what we're saying is, no, let's make sure that the basic needs are met, and then anything above and beyond that, that's up to your own pursuit. It's not like you gotta, work your hands bones just so that you can put eggs in the house for $12 at the same street.
There's this show that I was watching, and I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about how the United States be the whole system, and a different option would be the idea. They talk about doing credits, and every person from the time you're 14 years old until forever get a base credit of, let's just say, 80,000 credits. I mean, anything on top of that, you need to keep in the stock of a business that's talking about that. It's just everybody gets the base $80,000 because that's the average of my cost to live life.
All right, give me a second, guys. Sahel Knight, this is gonna be part 4 for us because you're always coming up.
Remember me. That's so adorable. I love that.
Yeah, that's all right. Sahel Knight, part 4. all right, guys. I think Sahel's probably the only opposition up. Let's try not to jump him. But Sahel, what you got?
So my thing, I'm just gonna call you a socialist because that's basically what you are.
I am.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, you're honest about it. At least you're not like going to deny it. You're like, oh, I'm a communist or I'm a leftist, I'm a progressive. Like, okay, at least you're honest. Or it's like that.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like, why not just focus on making jobs for the working man instead of making socialism? Why?
That's what socialism would be, making jobs for the working man. It would make their jobs like a lot better as well because we want to raise their wages and give them more power in their workplace, like more unionization and more decision making power in their workplace. They don't just have to follow whatever whatever measure that the people over them put. Like for example, in Boeing right now, we see the issues in Boeing that's happening, right? Where a lot of the CEOs are overturning or basically getting rid of safety measures because they want to make more money. What happened under a socialist system is that the employees of Boeing can actually overturn those decisions because they're the ones who are working and they're the ones who are going to be put in danger. They're the ones putting their product out that'll put other people in danger. If they don't agree with that, they can overturn that decision of the CEO. It's not just him making that decision for everybody, and all the safety measures are just gone, and they get fired if they blow a whistle on them, or like how we saw they get unalived if they let the regulators know that, hey, this is what's going on. You see what I'm saying?
It's a story. It's like an actual story, right?
It's an actual story. What do you mean?
No. So are the employers are not okay with this? These safe measures? Of course not, right?
Right. A lot of these we know that employers are not okay with it because they literally get rid of them in order for them to make more money.
At least invest the money into their employers or to make more, or do they just keep it to themselves and use it for stuff like that?
They like to keep it to themselves. Use it for stuff like that.
You can at least put down more regulations to distribute it fairly. I respect that.
Yeah, that's another part of it. Well, those regulations as well.
Thing though is just like you want to promote like a typical not like you, but a lot of socials like free healthcare, free money, free college. We're gonna give you a free car, free marijuana.
What's wrong with free college?
Well,
so
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let Johnny get at you next, all right? So when it comes to socialism, like it's not really free money for everything. Well, what we would like to see is no cost education up into a bachelor's degree, universal healthcare, more workplace democracy, and nationalization and of energy and guaranteed housing. Why would that be a bad thing?
The bad thing is though is that where you get the money for this? Is you can't be rich because the rich can't pay for all that.
Taxes.
I understand taxes, my friend, but where you get all that money from? Like you don't have to squeeze the pockets for everyone. Increase the IRS, give them more power.
Yeah, sure. The IRS can if we hire more like IRS in order to go after tax cheats, which are mostly the rich, we'll have more money for us. We can do that.
Yeah.
Actually, give me a second. I think Johnny had a question for you. Johnny, what was your question?
I mean, sorry, I ain't want to interject.
No, it's all good. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said something about the college, but I guess I kind of wanted to get back to like some of the questions I was asking straight to kind of see if Sai wouldn't mind giving like straight answers. So, you believe in a capitalist society, everybody be rich?
I'd rather have a society where people achieve capitalism compared to socialism.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think in a capitalist society, it's supposed to be like an opportunity, like everybody can make it if they want to? Do you think everybody can be rich in a capitalist society?
Opportunity is fair. Opportunity. You can protect their destiny. If they want to save their money and use it for investments, if you want to use money to save it, use it for opportunity.
I'm asking for a straight yes or no answer.
Yes, yeah.
No, everybody can't be rich. Everybody's rich. They can work it out.
That's the whole point. You don't need to work for everybody else. You just reach the goal that I wanted you to get.
I don't think you get what I'm saying. My point is, so like for example, Walmart, where somebody like the person who owns Walmart is rich as he needs. AI. So who's developing that AI? Is it you?
Technical person.
So okay, you're giving a solution for something that you can't even. You're trying to say a solution for something that you can't even fathom yet on your own. Like you're expecting somebody else to create that, and then even then that's somebody working. You still need somebody to work to build those machines that you're talking about. So once again, I go back to the question: in a capitalist society, can everybody? And then at that point, if it was AI, at that point, what would be wrong with a social society? Because AI doesn't take over everything anyway. So going back to it though, can everybody be rich in a capitalist society?
No. No, absolutely not. But I want to expand the opportunity for people to do that.
So what's wrong with having a society where basic necessities? And I asked the last person as well. In the school system in America, did they teach you to be self-sufficient, or did they teach you to be a worker?
No, my parents taught me to be self-sufficient.
Hold on, Watkins. I'm sorry, Watkins, give me a second, all right? Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so sorry, in the American school system, did the school system teach you how to be self-sufficient, or did they teach you how to be a worker? When I say self-sufficient, I mean, did they teach you how to purify your own water, start your own fire, build your own shelters, get your own gas, your own food? Did they teach you those things, or did they teach you how to work to make money from business and something else?
Capital was social studies, no, honey, please, and more entrepreneurship. So
You still need capital. That's capital. I'm saying, like, with the basic necessities, they teach you how to survive on this earth without needing capital. Like, it's basic necessities. Because you can literally just go out to a land and build your own house. You can plant some fruit around wherever it is. Like, it's basic without having to go and work a job every day. So did the school system teach you how to do that, or did they teach you how to be a worker?
You have to be a worker.
No, I mean, no, you already answered the question. So in the American school system, they're not teaching.
You know, you're trying to take the whole conversation, though. That's fine.
I mean, I'm asking you questions, and if you feel like you can't answer to the point where it's justifying your statement, make sure you evaluate how you feel.
I don't think feel, but you're trying to hold a conversation. I think you're trying to twist my words.
No, it's not about twisting your words. It's about like trying to understand your own worldview. Like, for example, like as I said, what would be wrong in a society where we all, all of us get healthcare, all of our kids go to school, we don't have homelessness, these things. You know what I'm saying? And utilities are taken care of. You know what I mean? What would be wrong with this society?
Because social society is normally failed miserably, especially in parts like Angola, like Zimbabwe. I know a couple people from Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe, the issue was more of Mugabe's management. It's not just because he was a socialist.
Who gave him the power? Which one supports the power more to the government?
The military gave him the power to do all that. He was a dictator.
Oh, right. Which one gave him more power, though? Capitalism or socialism? Which one gives him more desire, more control of the government?
Being a military dictator gave him the power. You can be a dictator and be a capitalist.
You're already a dictator for socialism.
Elon Musk is sitting in Donald Trump's chair right now. He's a capitalist. Now what? I mean, it's working toward it.
Have you seen like the history of South America?
Do I have to give you the names?
You don't give me the names.
South America right now.
Right. Like what I'm saying is that why do you think like a lot of South America tends to skew to the left, tends to skew towards socialism? Why do they do that?
Actually, look at Cuba. I thought many Cubans that come from America. Yeah, totally terrible.
Right, hold on. So listen to my question. Why do you think a lot of South American countries tend to skew more towards the left? Why do they do that?
This whole election, 6% of Latinos voted for Trump. So
Jesus Christ. I don't think you understand my question, bro.
Answer your question.
No, you're not.
You're not to the left.
I'm talking about South America. I'm talking about Latinos in America. I'm talking about South America. A lot of South America skews towards the left because of what America did to it. Right. Do you know about regime change in South America? What America was doing in South America for like 50, 60 years? For like 50, 60 years, America was doing regime change in South America. We're always putting in like people who agree with American hegemony, right? And it was always a right-wing capitalist dictator, which is why South America right now skews heavily to the left because they don't want that. We did that right now in Argentina. Right now, there's actually a libertarian president who decided to do a lot of things that Trump's going on. A lot of there's a president of Argentina right now is doing a lot of the things that Trump said he's going to do, or Musk says he's going to do, and they're in a financial crisis right now. So how's that good? Marcus, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What they're doing right at the moment is a very good thing because they're finding more ways to corruption than.
No, no.
Can I say something?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
No, I want to respond that way. I look at El Salvador, for example. Their president, he's more right-leaning, more no police, more no order, and his country's booming.
I know because the thing is what's happening in El Salvador, like locking all those people up, that actually needed to happen. They were in a crisis of gangs in their country. Same thing is happening in Haiti. But we're not at that point in America where we need to do what El Salvador did. We're just not.
You're still ignoring the ideology they're practicing, though. Why do you ignore that? Look at
I'm not ignoring that. I'm not ignoring the ideology. I straight up said what he did actually needed to happen because they were in a crisis.
Sometimes, no, in more capitalist society, it's needed. More law and order society. At one point, we do need it.
No, at some point, if you're at the point of where El Salvador was at, where the gangs literally ran everything and the government did nothing about it, yeah, sometimes you need someone with a strong hand to take care of it. But we're not at that point in our society.
Like I said,
I'm not ignoring it. I just said that, yeah, sometimes that's needed, but we're not at that point in our society yet.
But your side, your political ideology, that would never happen again. Look at more crime. Still
no, there wouldn't. The reason why there wouldn't be more crime is because we will have education, we'll have guaranteed housing. Therefore, people don't have to go ahead and commit crime when they get money. Why do people rob others? Why do people join gangs? They join it for money. They join it because society is fractured. Niggas ain't joining gangs just because it's cool, bro.
Be surprised.
Yeah, there are people joining gangs right now because we're being cool. But like in general, the majority of people aren't joining gangs just because they think it looks nice. A lot of people join gangs for protection. Wait, pause. Do y'all think crime happens just because people think it's cool?
Majority, but they want that red.
Not majority, right? But the majority of crime, why does it happen?
Dysfunctional. Crime exists because of dysfunctional families.
Right. So if we actually address what makes families dysfunctional, that will be more crime, correct?
I have to agree with that because you have to understand the reason why, especially in the black community.
Right. And one of the big things that makes families dysfunctional is poverty.
And poverty in the black community was created by the very system that most black people live for, which is a
democracy.
No, it's a left wing, it's the right wing, but it's all one thing.
So, society, we have to keep black people in their place. That was created by Lyndon Johnson, the most racist president in the history of the country.
You're saying that. I'm sorry, pause. Because I hear this claim all the time. You're saying that because welfare exists, that's why I'm poor.
It's a contributor.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's because there's nothing to do with on welfare for generations because they don't want to get off of it.
No, let me ask you. I'm sorry. All right, apologies for that. I'm gonna let you go next, okay? All right, so Watkins, let me ask you a question. You said that welfare is a contributor to people being poor. How does it do that?
Well, because the majority of people, regardless of race, have issues with themselves. Broken down families, for one. Broken down family was designed by the government.
That really doesn't answer my question, bro.
You put them on welfare, get them into a position of need and want. So if a father and a mother separate, because in the beginning, the mother couldn't get welfare unless the father was gone. So once the father was removed from the household, it created generations of welfare recipients. And you're not going to vote against the system that's putting money in your pocket.
What money did you get from welfare? Exactly.
I don't understand that question. What do you mean what money did you get from welfare? Very little. It was barely enough to survive.
Yeah. So I was. So you're saying that they they're staying in poverty for a little bit of money that's not even meant for them to survive.
Well, after a while, that's all they know.
I mean, everything.
That's all they know. They become
So,
that's their life. And
sorry, if you don't mind.
they live that, and they live that.
Actually, I'm sorry. I know Bree was trying to talk. I'm sorry if you don't mind me just. So, Watkins, what you're doing though is you're getting to you're bringing a statement, but you're just like getting to the end, not like giving the steps that also had to happen for it to get to that as well. And it's not even just it's not as clean cut as you think it is. It's just saying because of welfare.
Trust me, I understand the racism that was involved. I do understand that. However, that was the government at the time understood that also. How do you keep people in place?
All right. So, but the issue that Watkins is that this was actually studied by the government as well, and it wasn't really welfare that was keeping black people poor. It was lack of opportunities, lack of jobs. Oh, listen, it wasn't just that keeping people poor. It was lack of opportunities, lack of jobs. Breakdown of the family structure. That was it. You know what I'm saying? That's what kept people poor. It wasn't just folks being on welfare.
However, back in the 40s and the 50s and beyond, there was still black millionaires.
Yeah, and there's still black millionaires today, but that doesn't mean that.
We're talking back when racism was deep.
Right, we know that. Black millionaires existed, and majority of them were entertainers. But what I'm saying is that even though there were black millionaires, hold on, listen. There were black millionaires back then, there are black millionaires now, but that says nothing about the systemic issues that we have.
Yes, I totally understand what you're saying. However, I know through my own life experience, I run into racism. I'm talking to this little black rich kid one day who was like talking to me like it was the 60s, and I said, "Have you ever been put out of a restaurant? No. Have you ever been denied something because of the color of your skin? Well, no." And this kid was going to college. Come to find out his parents were millionaires.
Oh, you might be saying racism, like you say racism, you can't experience racism.
No, why you?
Oh, I'm saying we're talking about. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I wrote down. Sorry, I thought you were saying that white man. I thought you were talking about white man.
No, however, a lot of people that get in my face, they think that I'm white because of the environment that I'm raised.
So I mean, so that's the thing. Like you brought it up as well. Like there were strong black families in the 50s and things like that. But even like I was kind of getting into is like things. There were steps that were taken deliberately by people in power to break down the black community, and it's still going on to this day. If you look at the music.
Correct. I'm on the same page.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, it's not just clean cut, it's just saying welfare is what's making the black community the way it is. It's mass incarceration, they're flaying black communities. I'm from MC. I know exactly what it's like to see your black community like suffering from a drug epidemic. I don't know any black chemist that was creating the drug that was messing up the black community.
Absolutely, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked to hear somebody say that welfare is keeping BIPOC communities poor when white women are the number one types of people that benefit most from welfare.
Black people versus percentage of white people. But the higher, when it comes down to the black community, there's a higher percentage of black people on welfare than there is white people.
Yeah, proportionally, black folks are higher in welfare. I understand that, but I think the point of the matter is that it's not welfare that's the major contributor to black people being poor. That's not the major contributor.
I think that it's one, and the biggest factor is fatherless homes.
Why do those fatherless homes exist? It's not because
of welfare.
Because of mass incarceration.
You know how hard they make it to stay out of the criminal system for a long time. Do you know how many people that go into jail once return? Most people do become returners, even if they don't have any sort of crime for years. And
yeah, that's my problem. Good education. Yeah. So what's contributing to like the black community is opportunities. Exactly. Lack of educational opportunities, lack of economic opportunities. Those are the issues.
We're being impoverished. Hold on, Watkins. Hold on. They've been impoverished for generations. There's been no opportunity to create generational wealth. And I think hold on.
One at a time. Now, go ahead.
There's been no opportunity for the BIPOC community to create generational wealth on a general scale. Like overall, like yes, there are. Like we spoke about earlier, there are black millionaires, there are black wealthy people, there are people that have made good jobs and made good for themselves. But that doesn't mean that there's been equal opportunity for every black family to be able to create wealth the same way.
What are the odds of a black male or even a female of having good life outcomes without a father in the house?
Well,
that's redundant. It's like so. Speaking as a black man, then at that point you're gonna make it specific. I grew up. My father had his father in the house, and I'm doing better than he did. And my father wasn't in my life, so he had his dad in his life. My grandfather and my grandmother were like a nuclear family at that time, and my father grew up in he was not in my life, and even my brothers that he had outside from my mom, he was in their life more, but still wasn't in their life. So I think that's what you're trying to. It's like you're trying to make it more specific than what it is. But overall, if you look at it, opportunities is gonna come down to and a lot of the deliberate things that were done, like mass incarceration and things like that. At the end of the day, I work a good job. I'm an electric vehicle technician in school of aviation. I did not know a lot of these opportunities was here until I started stepping outside of what I knew in my day to day. I only knew my city really well. I didn't know like
no, but the only way to create mass opportunity for a population is by giving universal accessibility to healthcare, to education, to different like resources that can help build wealth and things like harm reduction. I mean, like, these are things that we could be doing as a country to be helping spread minorities and different people in different walks of life. But we do not do. We do not do them because we have selfish billionaires as our freaking president and as our shareholders and as our congressmen, and they don't care about us. They care about the people that are minorities. They care about any minorities. They certainly don't care about the excuse me. I know that I'm moving. I'm still allowed to speak. But anyways, the one way to give equal opportunity to everybody is to give equal opportunity. Like give people what they need to survive. Like why am I paying for the same house that's been paid for 10 times? No, like why can't we as a civilization, as a society, try to build each other up instead of putting us all into these holes of debt so that these giant companies and corporations can gain while the common man has nothing? That's what we're saying.
What do you classify as a common man?
Anyone that's not like the top 3%, like the wealth gap is insane.
So you're saying if a person makes $185,000 a year, he's a common man? He sounds pretty comfortable.
I mean, they might be pretty comfortable, but like if there's like a single mom making $185,000, she's got 4 kids, that's not a lot of money at the end of the day. I'm saying I'm Watkins. I'm talking about the hyper rich. These are the people that we need to be taxing at an appropriate level because instead they're getting tax cuts and they're getting tax breaks and they're not having to pay. Excuse me, I'm still freaking talking.
All taxes is paid by the filthy rich.
Yeah, that's incorrect. Not all taxes. Like, a lot of the rich actually avoid taxes. But give me a second, because when I was finished what you were saying, and after that I have to let Bree go because Bree's been sitting there patiently and has to say the thing. But I'm going to finish what you were saying, and then Bree's going to go ahead. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, yes, the rich do avoid taxes. They do get tax write-offs. They do get those perks, and they go for every exception that they can find because their goal at the end of the day as a corporation is to find the best way to make the most money. They don't care who's next step on. They don't care about the minorities, and they will. Oh, they donate charities. Somebody said that in the comments. Yeah, so they can write it off on their fucking taxes. Okay, sorry.
No, Bree, I'm sorry. You've been sitting there for like an hour patiently. You can go ahead.
Okay, I'm so sorry. And don't mind my voice, I'm sick. But I have 2 things to say. One, the stuff that you were saying about the reason why, because of fatherless homes and welfare. Well, I'm white, and I grew up in a fatherless home and a welfare poor community. But my kid's father is not white. And he grew up that I still had versus the opportunities that he did not have. Simply because of communities that poor communities already. I was in a very poor white community. Everybody was white. But we were all poor, we were all welfare. And we were still getting way more opportunities than he would ever get at all. And it's because this country is set up for those specific communities to fall and crumble and struggle.
never had an opportunity to succeed unless you happen to be a random person like LeBron James with great skills that people always reference. They always reference his children, and then you came and raised up black millionaires as an example. If we look at the millionaire percentage between whites and blacks, it's significantly different because of the lack of opportunities and how hard it is for that specific community to grow. Versus if you're white and in the same situation, you have way more opportunities than you have in that situation. And then the second thing I forgot. So
No, not a problem. But I'm trying to understand like your your actual position here. Are you saying that what we would like to see for society, for all of us to gain better opportunities, are not good? Like I'm not understanding, because what I would like to see is, like I said before, more workplace democracy, universal healthcare, universal education up until bachelor's, things like that. I think if we have universal healthcare, then you'll see a lot more black people go to the doctors because they can finally afford it. You know what I mean? Or they don't have to pay for anything in order to go to the doctors. They're therefore be good, because I've seen that. I'm pretty sure you see that as well. Lots of folks that don't go to the doctors because they can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have a healthier population, a more educated population, a population that is more involved in their work lives because they make more decisions in their lives. All the decisions we think are not good things. Like what do you?
Well, I've actually experienced myself not being able to go to the doctor because I didn't have health insurance.
Right. So we have universal healthcare.
Well,
everybody deserves to be treated the way they're sick.
Once I changed my life situation and was gainfully employed, then I worked on it.
Right, but not everyone is as lucky, or these opportunities are as lucky, or right. It was your decision. I got you. I got you. Okay, so guess what? People can make the right decisions and still fail. How do we fix that gap? Right. So
because the Constitution was built on the pursuit of happiness.
Right. Exactly. I got you. I understand. What I'm saying is that how we fix that gap.
Well, what you were saying with universal healthcare, my take on that is you take the percentage of people in America that can't get healthcare, private healthcare insurance. If my taxes went up 3 or 4 or 5% to cover that, I would give that. However, to make a whole society with that, no. Because what it's going to come down to is managed care. It's like, well, this guy is like 70 years old, so we're not giving him a heart transplant because it's not economically viable. That's what it would eventually turn into.
Why doesn't it happen in France?
I don't know. I really don't know much about France.
Okay, so in universal healthcare system, in universal healthcare countries, what you're talking about? Hold on a second. Sorry about that. All right, in countries that have universal healthcare, what you're talking about never happens. So why do you come here?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, because like you said, what it come down to.
I never said it never happened here.
No, what I'm saying is like what you said is that it all comes down to managed care if you have a universal system. A country that have a universal system, what you said never happens. What you said happens. Managed care that never happens. So why would you think it? Hold on. Let's go to the question. If the managed care you're talking about never happens in countries that already have universal healthcare, why do you think it happens here? Are we just more stupid than they are?
No, not at all. However, America is like, again, it's huge. The population of people. Now, I personally, I was like, I was going that was even 40. I personally don't want money taken out of everybody else.
But why can't you benefit as well? Why this person? I'm calling listen. It's universal healthcare. It means universal means you also get it. If anything happens to you, unfortunately, you get disabled or you get fired, your company shuts down for any reason, you're also going to get universal healthcare. Everyone gets it. It's not just money taken out of you to come to me. Everyone gets it.
And like, what happens when like somebody? Hi. What happens when somebody receives a diagnosis of a terminal illness? You know, like as something that is. Okay, so something like that is a very hard thing to deal with, and so it's very important to be able to receive medical care that you need if that happens. A lot of people cannot and do not afford that, drain their life savings, and then end up unaliving anyway. So like with universal healthcare, at least people can rest and respectfully.
Universal healthcare will be ran by the government.
Can I pause real quick? Can I pause real quick? Is that not David Ross?
Yes, sir.
Are you over 18 and you disagree with something I have on the board?
I'm 30 years old. I disagree with number 1. Number 2, about 50%. Number 3, about 75%. Number 4 is not for me to judge you on. 8 is definitely no, that's not for me to judge you on. And I do believe that capitalism is better than socialism.
All right, great. Give me a second. We're gonna let you down real quick. I'm trying to get a little clutter on the stage, let you down really quickly. I'm gonna let you back up in a few minutes. All right? Thank you so much.
You got a conversation going on. I got to applaud you for that.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, so I think did I interrupt you or you already done?
I was finished, thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, so Dave, you disagree with me on number 1. America's great, right?
I mean, America has fundamentally been a progressive country since the beginning. Now, I understand that it might not have always been great, and it's not like America was the only racist country when it was happening, and they were some of the first to abolish it. I don't agree with any slavery of any kind, and plenty of whites, plenty of Middle Easterners, plenty of every ethnicity, culture, religion have either been enslaved or exterminated for whatever reason. And
I hear some apologist behavior.
no, I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm saying that every culture has experienced the same trials and tribulations.
I think I hear apologist.
Yeah, she was saying you wasn't apologizing, but I guess it's like, so why is it like if somebody does something bad, it's not like it doesn't save them by saying, oh, this person did something bad as well. You can only take accountability for what you did as a man. I mean, I feel like arguing should do it as a man. I mean, I'm not gonna do something and like say, oh, this person did it too. I can only take responsibility for what I did.
David Ross didn't do anything. So can I finish my point without and I'm finishing my point.
All right, so Dave, go ahead and finish what you were saying, and then I'm gonna go ahead and respond. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Okay, so simply being said, there are you have the Montford Marines, which was the bravest unit in World War II, which were African American Marines, the first unit set up and set out the conflict. And they upheld and whatever, and everything's gotten better since then. I understand that there have been trials and tribulations, and that has been for all beings of all kinds since the kingdom come. And
I'm only responsible, but I want to finish. Go ahead, finish.
We're still on the first point, correct?
Oh yeah, so are you on
Well, no, I have like maybe 2 sentences left, and then we can
Yeah, go ahead and finish on that, and then I want to respond to your first one. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, of course.
I got for you, host.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that America has never been great for every individual, but as a whole, America has been great if you compare it to any other nation.
I got you. So it's because you first brought up the example of the Black Marines who went down to World War I. That's actually a good example of why I say America wasn't great. Because what happened to the Black Marines when they came back home to 3 heroes when they come to the wayside because of color.
Well, unfortunately, World War I was another example, not as explicit as Vietnam, but World War I military individuals were not hailed as heroes the same way that the British are. And yes, they were the British in World War II, they were all heroes, but World War I military members were treated somewhat similar to the way that Vietnam Marines were treated. So I think it's despicable across the board.
I think that when it comes to like black soldiers when they came back from war, not only just World War I, also World War II, all the wars that black soldiers were involved in, they were not treated as citizens. They were all treated as second class because of their skin color, because of stuff like that. Which is why I say America was great, because it was great. The way I measure greatness of a country is number 1, if you talk to your ideals, and you always say life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's not been afforded to everybody in this country, and like how you said, it wasn't great to everyone. But it wasn't great to everyone. Overall, it can be because it has to be great to everyone. It has to be everyone. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody gets like every single equal thing, right? Like just because not everybody's gonna be born like equal in ability. Like you might be better in math than me, and I might be better in language arts than you are. We have different abilities, but we should both have equal opportunities. It shouldn't matter what my skin color, my religion, or my creed, or any of that is. But in America, since the beginning, and even up until now, your race, your creed, your socioeconomic status, your gender, all that matters into your success. Therefore, it can't be great.
Right, and that goes with. I mean, there's no country on the planet that there's not even a group. So you take the because of racism, individuals, and there's a hierarchy. No matter how low you get, even if you go down to like a little baseball team, they're always going to be the best player that gets the best positions, the best here, the best this, the best that. You can't always compare yourself to the highest of society. You have to compare yourself to, where you're contributing. And I'm not saying that that's right. I'm saying that's what a perfect society has never existed, and never, most likely never will. But we're working towards that. And just like our ancestors do, like I'm Russian, and
Okay, thank you.
yes, of course.
Okay, what steps we can make a more perfect society? What would you say?
Well, we were, so lower jobs and white taxes. So you asked a question, and
That's not true. No, I want a job, so that's not true.
so that's my choice.
That's not a percentage.
How am I supposed to do that? Not on camera. I'm assuming that you're just a normal productive member of society, not saying you're productive. I'm just saying.
Hold on. You wouldn't be able to see my disability either. So please keep your ignorance honest to yourself.
I wasn't being ignorant. I was trying to be respectful.
Hold on. So what are we doing? What steps are we as a society taking to become a better, quote, more perfect society?
By cleaning up negligent spending and failure to provide for the people that live in our country.
Okay.
I'm for that.
And I don't agree with that being a good reason.
I don't agree with that.
Actually, I don't think we're even doing that.
I mean, you don't have to fire people to get the money. That's just saying we need.
I'm not talking about the firing. I'm saying.
But there was actually, well, we can hop to that in just a second. There's one thing I really wanted to bring up. And kind of that, you kept saying, but all groups, but everyone kind of has these, struggles, and all of the World War I veterans, and much like the World War II veterans, and any type of hierarchical, team, even a baseball team, it's giving all lives. It's giving me like the all lives kind of vibe. Like, I'm not liking it, so I want you to listen to Big Lives Matter. I want you to answer that.
No, do you believe that one value?
I want you to put in blank lives matter.
That's a loaded question.
It's not loaded.
Honestly, that's disingenuous by you.
It's not a loaded question. It's not disingenuous. I want
No, that is entirely disingenuous because first off, I think
it's not
that
disingenuous.
oh, so now you're personally
I don't get contentious. Let's try to be respectful, all right?
I'm sorry, but he's saying he's disingenuous.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to police. I just want us to try to have, I'm not going to get I know, I'm not trying to police, all right? So let's try to, keep people.
You spelled that for me, blank lives matter.
I already said that's a disingenuous question. I'm not going to answer it the way that you answered.
Can I pause it? I'm going to ask a question.
Yes.
Why do you think it's a disingenuous question?
Because what she wants me to say is either all lives matter or black lives matter, and it's not that clear cut of an issue. And she also misrepresented my statement saying I compared World War I and World War II veterans.
Before we get to that one, I want to clarify that as well. Before we get to that one, you said it's not that clear cut of an issue. Do you understand why people say black lives matter?
Yes. I also understand why there are individuals who
say all lives matter, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now you understand why people say black lives matter because like what we're talking about is that it's a message to the justice system because criminal justice doesn't care about our lives. Now the other side says all lives matter. Why are they saying that? Because I don't know why they say all lives matter. Why do you say they say that? So as an independent, and I grew up in the inner city for most of my life, and I would say that my friend demographic is the majority non-white. So I try to find middle ground on these issues. So when it comes to the and not a police, I don't like many police officers. No, I got you.
Yeah, no. But I believe that they're going off the statistics that the FBI puts out with 13%, 52.8% of murder and whatever, and that's fine.
Oh, and say it live, please, because TikTok.
I apologize.
No, it's
so they're going off of the statistics, and as opposed to treating each individual situation pragmatically, they go into it with these statistics in mind, and they're afraid. And if you're going to be a police officer, you should not be afraid. You should be going into that and knowing that you know how to defend yourself and you're ready. No matter who you're approaching.
Okay, I know. I'm not everybody's going to on this in a second, but I want to ask you a real quick question. Of course. That 13, 50 statistic. Do you understand that that's exaggerated and it's actually not as clear cut as that says? You get it in all. Okay. Well, I'm not explain. But you get it as clear cut. Yeah.
So what I believe is that the people that live in the suburban areas or the the sticks, they don't have as there's like when I live in Philadelphia, I see 3 cop cars every 45 minutes, something of that nature, right? So they're not as police, so they don't get caught as much, so to say, which is why we live in a state of fear that's unjust. And most of it comes from legitimate claims.
Okay, so therefore, so he does have a little bit. They're not over policed. We're the ones who are policed. So you're getting okay. So that's what the whole 13 is coming from. Where is that? There we go. I agree. Gotcha. Okay. So he does that. I don't know that's why you that one. All right. So he does that. Where 56 is over policed. Yeah. So he does that. He does that. Right.
I'll do one final day. So gotcha. Okay. So I need statistics of getting caught due to misuse of resources.
And also it's not actually true because we have to have one of the more operations of those cases.
I would agree that they sort of turns into domestic violence, abuse of assault, etc.
That's why we say black lives matter because of that's what we say all that for. So you get that part. But say all lives matter. Just don't see that angle because it's not really experience. Right.
Which is why I'm not going to say either because they're both kind of misguided. I think that y'all should just come together. I understand why it needs to
like explained to you, one was born out of actual actions that were being taken against a group, and another was born out of resentment. I mean, that's pure racism. At the end of the day, you can say it maybe because police profile, mass incarcerated, what's going on, and say and even if you look at George Floyd, for example, the reason why these people find to not care about a specific movement or something is like, if George Floyd wasn't hiding, how many times do you have to have mass incarcerated for? Where's the how long ago? You also like
I think the could have been selected. I disagree with what happened to the individual. Obviously, that's disgusting. Anytime someone dies, it's disgusting. But I do believe that should be brought under something more than
that doesn't have to do with the statement itself. The people are obviously being a certain way or things for what they don't say. We should all have our own saying.
It's when straight people ask people oh, when's straight pride day? It's every day. You guys get every day, And so it's really awesome for people to hear it constantly, hey, all lives matter. When it really, like Bonnie said, and like Joseph said, a lot of times for a very necessary and very needed reason because black people have been hunted, black police systems are created, and there has been little to no reform in police, in how police is done in our country. And I remember that law enforcement officers, they're no longer peace officers. They are not here to protect, they're here to enforce laws. So I mean, legally, there are some places where you have to do certain things, you have to do certain states. So,
no problem with enforcing laws.
It's not a whole reason. It's not that they're law. I think there should be, like chaos. I think there are laws for a reason. The reason that they're law enforcement officers and they're not like peace officers anymore because their job is not to be peace officers laws, and that means that they will do whatever they do to enforce that law. And will also use whatever law to manipulate to them necessarily and quote everything. And there are many other factors in case that could why I don't like that they're law enforcement officers. Yeah, it's not an issue of that's what police peace. But right now we're kind of so we kind of enforce slavery because that's what prison is. I mean, that's the issue of policing. Countries really people see about police. I don't know how we battle because why I don't here because I don't know how to do it. But I'm not saying actually police because America needs to reform it better. But when you say that's not excited, you understand like why we get excited because of all the issues that are police systems, which is why we don't see as excited. You understand?
So I think maybe we misunderstood each other. So the Caucasian white people in this country are misguided behind what Black Lives Matter stands for. The fact that the martyr that they chose to burn cities down over was.
Wait, whoa, back up and shut up. I can't.
That's rude.
I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard to be polite.
You're saying multiple cities burned down and George Soros funded it, and that's fine. And I
don't think
no, you didn't. But when it comes to have the political organ say on fact, I was saying
you are a white supremacist.
I'm a white supremacist. No, that's totally non-factual, and I'd like to retract that.
I'll say, David, you may not be a white supremacist, but like those points that you're talking about, it came from them. They may not have that.
I've done a good bit of research. It's not like I'm coming up here uneducated. I have spent hours.
What did you say burned down the city?
Excuse me, sir.
What did you say burned down the city?
I mean, it started off as a protest, and then a lot of what?
Oh, no, sorry.
He was going to go to St. Louis.
No, you said like who?
I believe I said African American individuals
So
started
I'm
to
gonna
act in Philadelphia as well.
Okay, you were in Philly. I'm in the city, baby, too. So my thing is, I was out there in the protest. I'm not sure if you were, but I was. And you can say you're Philly, but you're not from the black community of Philly. You're not
I'm
black.
from 23rd and Diamond, so I'm pretty sure
Are you a black person? I guess my point is, do you always have to profile black?
Honestly, the profiling is worse.
No. So the point I'm getting to is, if you know your average black person in the inner city, they are not willing to risk doing major crimes like that. That's not what we do. Now, if you look at the inner city, when you look at the one, you had a bunch of white people coming with masks on who were not from the city and coming instigating stuff. I seen my own eyes.
I'm not saying that there's just haters and
Even on the baseball team, bro, we know there's haters everywhere. I'm still hearing the right.
You have a bunch of excuses which comes off as that.
Okay, when it comes to the entire thing of quote unquote burning down the cities, right? First of all, what John says is correct. A lot of people were doing that, number one, investigation outside city, want to cause trouble, and the FBI actually investigated and found out that was true. But the second thing that I would say is that a lot of these things that became violent only became violent because of police actions. Or they attack protesters, spray paint them, beat on them. You know what I mean? So
You get on the corner of protesters, police would just come up to you, protest and tear gas. Just like take a picture. When someone takes a picture in front of the church with the Bible, people protesting and he tear gas so he can take a picture of the Bible.
I was in Cleveland, and I think it was May or June after George Floyd's murder. I'm sorry, Unalive Man. And we were and we were protesting obviously, and it was peaceful protesting was hard. But there was people building the report center, anyway. Like, and they said that they didn't see reports. They literally they started lighting any sort of like rubber balls, paper sandbags, or tear gas until after 5 p.m. I have pictures and videos on my cell phone that's happened after 3 p.m. And they said they were only starting that because of curfew that was being imposed after 6:35. And they did not wait until 5 p.m. They did not start using tactics. They did not let us know. It just started, and they don't care who gets fined. It's not reactions of stuff. You know, you're right. And then people watch like all these people. It's not so like we're related to stuff. Also, I was there and looked at the video and I was like, you know, like it's the kind of the other protesters like
I'm on live for 10 hours and but let's go in at least 10 more minutes because they can make it through all your points.
I don't believe that I have the ability to even feel like I'm going to find ground deep, but I haven't insulted and I've been ridiculed and all things and so I'm trying to have a conversation. I don't want to be able to bring me up, man. That's free. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's about. I have to yes. Sorry, yes. We just me on this. We got 2 minutes before I show my house. All right, I'm actually here. I have 2 channels, spots, and the Black Coalition. Put them on my page. Walking the road on my here. Okay, later. Here. I didn't realize that. I put it up and not just here. What is explaining finish off last minute when we get here. Just videos on
I'll say this like the father's homes and already. If it's like people in the 50s, early 60s, like you sit around in my room and talk to sons about financing and peace, a lot of the didn't have that. Okay, so we did just no. So yeah, I would say I'm opposed to we live in a Cast neighborhood, but one time, having said that, one time I was homeless, and I bought myself out of that homelessness right now.
No one has looked at it, but I'm like looking at that which is why I'll be housing, right? That's more. Number 2, you operate at a certain point, yes, it's a decision. However, how are decisions made? How do we make decisions? How do we decide things? Decide things with the information that you have and put it in the community and the environment that you're around, right? So if we change if we change some of those things, these bad decisions that we see, we may see less of it. That's what I'm right? I want to become a therapist, right? The reason I want to become a therapist is because I saw something like and I know PTSD because of that. And I know people from like my parents came from Haiti, right? My parents are horrific things. And right, so when I talk to myself what they've seen, I can tell them they're going to PTSD, but Haiti doesn't have a system. Fortunately, we live in America with a system, so I want to be that kind of like beacon for these young people talking like that. There's something better than trying to do. But I wish that we could have that on the universal scale. Therefore, we have less of these issues. That's the society I want to live in. That makes sense.
Well, that does make sense to me. However, I do believe, and especially with women, stop having sex with guys that are not going to take care of you. And then get impregnated. You have these children, then you have multiple children, like different guys. So that's not just a woman's issue. That's a woman's issue. It's a guy's issue also. It's not impregnating. You are not. No, I'm not paid. I'm not paid.
Don't say it. They get live, bro. Oh, God.
The thing is, like I said, it's a man and woman's responsibility to not have children unless they're ready. Sex is specifically for procreation. You can find joy, you can find pleasure, but the reason for sex is procreation. Secondly, going back, secondly, it's not 100%. People have babies when they have babies, people have babies that take candy and use other virtual. It's not 100%. It's not matter. So it is. And having frivolous sex, unprotected sex with women is not an issue. And then nobody's saying that. So once you guys going
if you know what lowers like things like the abortion rate and unwanted pregnancies and frivolous sex and all that stuff, what lowers that? Education. Yeah, so it should be
education connection.
Free. Education connection. Get connected. Let's be about here, bro. All right, I'm looking at what you're saying, and I'm not saying I see what they're wrong. I appreciate you.
You keep on getting to the end result, and there's multiple things before that lead up to that. The way that we like something else. The point is, I'm not sure if I get you say like like I know you but you can't just say, oh yes, random, just multiple things going on. It's like you one person who's rated better. So if you free education questions, they know I should have to certain people like overall life and health and financial stability is serious. You can't just say, oh yeah, expect people to do better. Okay, my dream so all they know is I'm saying I need to I need to family who are in the same position and I look at them like I'm doing better because I need to know it's having to be on the same pace for everybody. And like the narrative, put that what you just said. The narrative, put out and push it. So why are you good? Why do you feel like you're capable of saying that this need because your education allows you to think critically and to start to actually do certain things? You know what? I'm going to be like I'm just go on your right now and go and Japanese operations. And no reparations were made because your white ancestors were not slaves in this country, and now we see flatlining in this country. Talk about America, nowhere else. Clarity University. Clarity University. What's your best name? That's Pennsylvania. Yes. But I just need to tell you, man, I mean, everything you're saying is contrary to what actually is really going on in this society. From the inception of this country, especially black people. And people up here say shit you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. I grew up with that shit. So, who do two black guys go to church tropes? Only names. I just want to, we respectfully might be a little situation. I say that in the most respectful way. I want to have a quick dialogue with so yeah, that's operations and the black country. So they were in and served for many years. And it's not wait, they were not slaves. Those written going off and the not slaves. And the church actually had rights. Yes, they're treated horribly. I'm not denying that. They didn't have slaves. Not only that, they took servants and their descendants never went redlining, never went to grow, and then black codes, then salvation. So the about. Why should we give reparations to black people? I already told you, slavery, black codes, redlining, that's incarceration. So the slaves. Black people, the reason why is because reparations are obvious. That's slavery offensive. Yes, I don't think slavery and I'm affected by the slavery because of things like disproportionate racism within the real estate. You know. Okay, so what do they do? So there are people right now whose family has wealth as a result from slavery. Yes. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So their wealth is the people who have money. Yeah. So did you realize that for at least 50, 60 years in the United States after civil rights, that black people were not allowed to purchase homes for white board? That was during the 1920s and all after civil rights. They didn't even black people, so but before that, you could say that black people are not allowed to live here, and banks would live in our own home. It was black. Did you know that? But you already said you understand. I'm talking about the I agree that things have to be I'm talking about people. If we know that government and private business damage black people, why should they? Answer my question. Should the government be responsible for fixing the yes or no? It's a yes or no. Should they be responsible for fixing the should the government be responsible for fixing something that broke? Yes or no? No. They should. Okay. So that means that people on road and never going to into it. Should the government be able to do what wants to accomplish? Exactly. So you're not everyone wants. So the government be responsible for fixing something that broke. I don't think that government should the government be responsible for fixing something that broke? So that means you get the government. It's not because you just said that you should be responsible. You just said the government should be responsible. You just said the government should fix something that broke. But also don't question everything. I'm not saying that reparations. When the national change in the United States, how many times they are restored? Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a dialogue with him. Give it to me. Oh, but